whatever it gives to security is what it gives back to you. Every day is for the thief, or one day is for the owner. That talks about that the thief is 99 times smarter than the owner. That's what it means. Why you must need to think like one.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Can we hear me? Am I audible? Can you see me? Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can hear you. We can see your screen.
Good morning. Please, can we respond? Can we hear me? This meeting is going to be very interactive.
We
can hear you.
Your classes is going to
Yeah,
be.
we can hear you, please.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Your classes are going to be very, very interactive. So, you see those FPGs on your screen where React is written. We'll be reacting like from time to time with your clap emoji, love emoji. We need to be assured that we are together on the call because, of course, this is a virtual meeting. A lot of things could go wrong, but with network and all, but we need to be together. So thank you so much for joining the call this morning, and a good morning to everyone. I'm actually very excited. I'm actually very excited to see everyone to that this program is finally starting. Glory, good morning. Thank you so much for holding the fort. So let me just continue to share my screen. I shared my screen earlier, and we'll just continue the meeting because the induction is going to be for just a very short time so that you can get into the class as soon as possible. There's a lot of information to share with you today. But of course, we all know why we are here. At Sardonyx Education, one of the things we do is that we don't like telling stories. We like doing things and getting results, and that's one of the inspiration behind this event, behind this class, behind this training. This is a totally free training. Nobody is going to charge you anything. None of Sardonyx staff will reach out to you for any kind of payment. I know on the group, for some of us that are on the platform, yesterday we were talking about whether you've ever been hacked before. And I was reading some of the stories some of us are sending in, quite fascinating story. I have my own personal story, and it's not time to share that right now. So nobody is going to be charging you anything for this training. It's entirely free, and it's courtesy of Sardonyx Education. Now, I just want to take this moment to welcome everyone to the call, to welcome you all aboard. It's going to be a journey. It's going to be a very lovely journey, a detailed journey, a journey that I believe that for some of us that are new to cybersecurity, and this is the first time you are being introduced to the cybersecurity space, it will be something that will spark an inspiration that will, just catapult your career to the next level. For some of us that are already professional, because I know that on this call, there are various kind of people. We know that you are here. Some of you already have all the certifications. So you're just like, okay, what are these people doing? Let me just check them out. Let me see. We know that there are people like that here. I know that there are people like, okay, my friend told me that cybersecurity is the next big thing. These people are running a free train. Let me join. We know that you are also here. So everyone, welcome, welcome, welcome. I don't know if there is anyone joining us from outside the country. Maybe you're joining us from another continent or another country entirely. Can you unmute your mic, or can you raise your hand actually, so that it won't be rowdy? Can you raise your hand? You're outside the country. You are joining us from UK. You are joining us from the US. You are joining us from Spain, Venezuela, Canada. Can you just raise your hand? Just use the raising hand icon on the call. Can you just raise your hand? Glory, is anyone raising their hand? Do we have anyone? Do we have anyone outside the country? Anyone? You're outside the country? Yeah. Okay. I know that for some of us, we don't reveal our location, which is okay. But don't worry, you are safe. This is a safe space. So can you just raise your hand? Do we have anyone? Or not at the moment? Because we got registrations from Malta, we got registration from South Africa, like we got registration from everywhere. All right. So I'll just assume that they've not joined the call. Glory, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
What?
Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, I said someone just raised his hand. Tony raised his hand just now.
Oh, okay. Okay, Tony, where are you joining us from? Just drop it in the comment section. Glory was already asking us where we are joining from. So just go to the comment section. I want the comment section to be ablaze with location. Where are you joining from? I'm currently, well, I don't want to reveal where I am currently, but I'm currently in Nigeria. So where are you joining us from? You are from Abuja. Drop it in the comments. Lagos, just drop it in the comments. Glory is joining from Oyo. Some of us are joining from Ekiti. Just drop it in the comment. Our northern people, we are joining from the north. Special people. We are glad to have you. Just drop them in the comments. All right, so welcome aboard. It's going to be a very interesting journey. It's going to be a lovely journey. This is going to be, well, we don't like talking so much about we just want you to experience it. And that's one of the things we focus on doing. When you talk too much and then expectation is so high and then delivery is so low, we don't want that. So I'll just speak. Is someone speaking? Please, can we mute our mic? So is someone trying to say something? Okay, please let's mute our mic at least for now. We'll still have time for Q&A. Okay, welcome on board. Again, welcome. Why are we on this call? This is a Saturday. You could do anything this Saturday. Some of us probably have a Wambe parties that we plan to attend, and we just have to put that on hold because this is so important to you. So why cybersecurity? You already know that cybersecurity is one of the most in-demand skill globally at the moment. You already know that. You already know that cybersecurity professionals are cashing out globally at the moment. I just picked, there are several stats out there that you can just go online and read about cybersecurity yourself, especially for some of us that this is your first introduction to the cybersecurity field. One of the stats that really caught my attention is this one that is on the screen. Please, can we see my screen? You can hear me, you can see my screen.
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can see your screen.
All right. So this stat on the screen, the global cybersecurity market is projected to reach $376 billion by 2029, and a lot of firms are investing into it. Now, that is a lot of money, and that money can be part of the money that will be in your bank account, right? One of the things we've realized over the years here at Sardonyx Education is that a lot of people have passion. Like, I have passion. I just want to start. I just have passion. I want to grow that passion. I have passion for cybersecurity. But learning the right way, learning in a way where you are qualified for the job, it's one of the difficult parts where people are not able to resolve, right? And that is why that's one of the reasons we put this training together. Now, I said that this program is put together courtesy Sardonyx Education. It's entirely free. We have a packed program for you that is entirely free. Now, who are we? Who is what are we doing? What is Sardonyx Education? Who is Sardonyx Education? If you've never heard about us before, you've never seen us on social media before, and this is the first time you're hearing about us, we are a dedicated leading educational provider based in Lagos. We have our school in Lagos. We have offices all over the country too. We have an office also in Abuja, all over the country. And one of the things we've been doing for the past 13 years is that we've been helping interested professionals that are transitioning from one career to the other, people that are looking to commence or start their career in cybersecurity. We've been bridging that gap between gaining the practical knowledge and preparing them for real world challenges. What I mean by that is we're not just your random, normal ed tech, educational provider that just teach tech. We are very, very deliberate and focused on ensuring that our students are job ready, and job ready in the sense that they are prepared, they know what to expect in interviews, they know what the job demands and requirements are. So that is what we do here at Sardonyx Education. So we are entirely focused on cybersecurity, cybersecurity trainings, cybersecurity certifications, cut across all levels, basically, right? And one of the things we've been doing over the years, I said earlier that we've been training for over 13 years. We've trained people that are globally recognized cybersecurity professionals, everywhere you go right now. And we have a system that we have built over this period of time that actually works, a system that works, a system that is based on ensuring that every one of our students experience a career transformation, right? And these are some of the partners you can see on the screen. For some of us that are familiar with some of these companies, PACB, CompTIA. A lot of you might be familiar with CompTIA Security Plus, put together by CompTIA. And then, of course, EC Council. These are our partners. Microsoft also, we're partners with other companies also. Cybersecurity providers. So we're partners with them, their certifications, their exams, their trainings. We have everything available here at Sardonyx Education. As I said, this induction period is going to be a very short affair so that you can deep dive into your class as soon as possible. Please, can we still hear me? Am I audible? And you can see my screen?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So as I said, our goal is to train you to get that job, that cybersecurity job, and do it the right way. It's one thing for you to manipulate your way to a job. You know someone that connects you with the job. You're able to get the job eventually, but then the job is right before you, and then you're just clueless. You don't know what to do. So we train you to get the job. We train you to do the job the right way, the ethical way, the proper way, right? So that is what we do. That is who we are at Sardonyx Education. And we have a robust team. We have a robust team. You'll be meeting basically all of us during the course of this training. So I'm just going to introduce some of our team members. They are on the call. Most of them, I believe, are currently on the call. They will get to speak with them just in a bit. Mr. Adewusi is our director, is our managing director, our CEO. Don't worry, you can check him out on LinkedIn. Follow him on LinkedIn. You know what I'm talking about. Why is the CEO? We have Mr. Christos Oleyede also, who is also the programs manager. You get to speak with you also during the course of this training. And it's our programs manager, our HR, it's just like an admin, putting everything together. And then, of course, you've met Glory Balogun, who has been communicating with you on your group. She's the one in charge of sales. She's the sales executive. And then we have consultants and instructors that you also be meeting during the course of this training. It's Isaiah Fagoroye, and then Timileyin Son. You'll be meeting every one of us. So please just brace yourself, because this is a team that one of the things we do in Sardonyx Education is to try to hire the right set of people. So you won't just have any random person come do anything or talk to you or train you. So this is our team. We are glad to have you on board. We are glad that you're here. We're glad that you're going to be, running this training with us. So without further ado, because we want this to be as short as possible, I'll call on our director, our managing director, our CEO, Mr. Adedotun, to just address you, share a few words with you before we proceed. So, sir, over to you.
Samuel, thank you very much. Good morning. Samuel, please confirm that I'm audible.
You're very audible, sir.
Okay, I'm sorry that might be a couple of background noise that may come in here and there. That's fine. It's good to have everybody here. At least currently there are about 69 people on the call. We're expecting that more people will join us. It is good to have all of us present. We discovered that there is a gap within the digital security landscape, and Sardonyx Technologies, Sardonyx Education offered to fill and bridge the gap. For a whole lot of people that want to venture into cybersecurity, it was observed that a lot don't have the means. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to go about it. Tech has become a buzzword across social media. Join tech, join this, join that. And in the middle of everything, cybersecurity came into the focus. And it became very obvious that a lot of those who are promoting and advocating for tech do not even know how to navigate the pathway in cybersecurity. For example, if we are to ask an average person on this call that what is cybersecurity, it's likely going to be one definition, whereas cybersecurity in itself has about 14, 16 or more modules, not modules, different career paths. For example, in cybersecurity, we have offensive security. That is where you have the vulnerability assessment, penetration testing, and the rest. We have digital forensics. We have defensive security. We have network security. We have cloud security. We have audit. We have compliance. We have risk management. We have governance. We have information security management systems. We have enterprise architecture. We have so many aspects. All of these make up cybersecurity. So it is actually interesting because the average person, like I said initially, does not even know that cybersecurity has so many career paths and it is not just one thing. It's part of the reason why we decided to have this as a free course for the entire community so that we can know what cybersecurity entails. And by the time we are making our move into cybersecurity, we have a very good understanding of what we are doing and where we are going. While we may not know what the destination is going to be, but we know that we are on our way and we are going to make the informed decision as we proceed. So let me take a step back and use this opportunity to welcome us all again and say that for some of us, it's going to be the necessary first step we need into our career change or into the new career path. For some of us, it's going to be additional functional knowledge by which we are going to be able to make informed decisions, both for ourselves and for those around us. And for some, it's just going to be, oh, no, I don't want this for myself, but I will make sure, but the knowledge is not wasted. I'm going to recommend it. So let us sit back, attend the entire program, and make sure that we get all that is made available for us. Like Samuel has already said, it's a totally free course. There are no hidden charges whatsoever. So, and the course materials and all resources will also be made available for us. And for those of us that are on this program, let us also ensure that we talk about it on our various social media platforms as we proceed. Thank you very much. Samuel, please, over to you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much. You heard it. So yes, everything is free. There are no hidden charges. And so I think I'll just take time to speak a little bit about the training, about the program now. Because as I said earlier, we want you to be properly informed about how we're going around this, right? We don't want a situation where you are getting the wrong perception or wrong information or wrong direction about how this program is going to go. This I said it, this is one of our community outreach programs basically that we do as a company because we believe in giving back to the society. We believe in giving back to people, right? So this program is entirely free. That has been emphasized over and over again. And some of you have been asking the duration, the time, how are we going to go around this? So I'll just provide those information very, very quickly to you now. So the program is for 2 months. For 2 months duration. Is for 2 consecutive is for 2 months, just weekends, right? We've seen the calendar already. We've seen that the calendar states that classes will be on Saturday and Sunday for this duration, for these 2 months, right? I think the calendar is detailed enough to like explain everything regarding duration and timing for class and all that. Right. And then another question some of you have been asking is, will there be certificates after training and all that and all that? Yes, there will be certificates after training, but there are terms and conditions applied, right? Some of the terms and conditions is that you must have attended at least a sizable number of class. What we're judging is at least 70% of the class you should be available. Be aware, I'll just say this now because I might forget later, that we are taking attendance in classes. We're not going to be calling names or telling you that we are currently taking the attendance. We'll just take the attendance at any point in time. You know how long the class is. So we just come at any point in time and take the attendance. And if you are not on the attendance, then you are not on the attendance. We know that's harsh because that means that we're expecting you to be in class. Yes, actually, it's that demanding. So because this program is free, and there's usually this perception that if something is free, oh, maybe it's not valuable. That's not for this program. This program is valuable. The instructors that are taking, anyway, you start your class in a bit, you know what I'm talking about already. So yes, there will be certificates after training that will be given to you. And then there will be assignments, I believe, during the course of the training, that will expect you to submit, project that will also expect you, to do, and then your certificate will be given after you've met all those requirements. And then this program is built for everyone. Right. As I said earlier, I know some of us might be guru already in cybersecurity, and you are just looking for you're just coming here to probably network or find a way to like interact better, with people and all. It's fine, but this program is built for everyone. So for this weekend, if you still have someone, we said it on the group, that if you still have people that you would love to take this program, you can still share with them. It's actually fine. You can share with them, let them register and join the group. It's fine. They can still take class this weekend. But after this weekend, we're going to stop taking people in because people will basically be lost. After this weekend, we might just stop taking people in entirely. To tell you, we have over 500 people that are registered for this program, over 500. Out of those 500, say about 200 plus, say close to 300, were able to get onboarded on the group. The rest of the people, I don't know how many people are currently on the Glory. Can you confirm how many people we have currently on the call? And let me know. How many people do we have currently on the call? Or someone can just
72 people.
Okay.
72.
All right, so you can calculate the percentage. Over 572 people in class, and it's fine because that's why I say passion is not enough. I'm sure when a lot of people saw that promotion about we starting this training, they are so passionate about it and they quickly registered for it. We have the data. It's over 500 people that we have, and now we have 72 people in class, which is okay. But out of these 72 people, question is, how many of you will stay to the end? How many of you will take this program seriously and be in class consistently and show up? A lot of people don't want to show up. They just want to be up there, but they don't want to show up and show up consistently. So that's on your table. On our table, we've prepared everything, we've made everything available, and we are going to give you that value. But how many of you will be willing to continually show up, for this training? So yes, some of the important thing you should know, I said earlier about attendance, that attendance will be taken, and then Gloria has been sending us an information about joining the class with your real name. Joining the class with your real name. So Microsoft Teams will prompt you to enter a name when you're about to join in, right? Especially if you are not if you don't already have a profile on Teams, right? So please put your real name. If we see Cyber Dagger on our call, we will remove you. I'll probably block you. If you see, because we understand these things, right? If you see the best hacker on our call, we'll remove you. We want to see your first name and your last name on the call. If that is not the case, you will be removed from the call. So you want to ensure that every class you are joining, ensure you type your real name. Join the class, not your nickname, join with your real name. All right. And then another thing Mr. Dotun said earlier is that we expect that you talk about this program. Yes, the program is free, but these are some of the things we might actually make a demand on you. For instance, we sent a flyer in, Glory, that was yesterday, correct? You know, we sent a flyer in, and then we asked that you go on your LinkedIn and you go on your IG and share that flyer, talk about the fact that you've been admitted into this training. I just say something about your dream and passion, you know, for the training, what you aim to get for this training, and tag us. Gloria, I don't know. Have we seen anybody tag us? Has anybody tagged us since yesterday? I'm not sure. Maybe Glory can confirm that. But I want to say it again. Please and please share your progress. Now, of course, some of you will be thinking, I don't like posting. I don't like talking about myself. I don't like putting myself out there. If you don't put yourself out there, you might not get the attention of the relevant people that will do your career great progress, right? So talk about your progress, not just for us but also for you. On our profiles, you know, across board, we have folks that we've trained over the years that are already working in the industry, following us and engaging with us and sharing some of these things, because every post that tag us, we will reshare. You can be guaranteed. If you tag us on IG, of course, on IG, you collaborate with us, but you tag us on your LinkedIn, we will reshare your post, right? So you grow your network also by that. So please, every week, we want to see posts. We want to see you tagging us. We want to see you talking about what you're learning in class. Yes, I don't want to talk before I'm learning essential. It doesn't matter. You start from somewhere. The big guys today also started from somewhere. Mr. Adedotun that just spoke with you also started from somewhere. He didn't wake up one day and become a CISO, right? So you start from somewhere. And then, of course, I already spoke about submitting your projects and showing up for your assignments and all. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to take on some questions. I'm hoping I've not left anything out. So let's take our questions at this point. I know some of you might have questions, so let me join you back in Teams so that we can talk and take questions. All right. Okay, so please, does anyone have a question? Just raise your hand if you have a question, and then you can go ahead and speak. I believe there should be questions regarding the program, regarding what to expect, and so on and so forth. Does anyone have a question? Please, can we raise our hands if you have a question? All right, Emmanuel, please, can you go on? Can you unmute and speak?
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, Emmanuel.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, sir. You mentioned that after this week, people are no longer allowed to join. Does that mean another form will be sent for us to send to them in case they want to join?
Okay. Okay. So what I mean by that is we have a lot of people that have registered for this program already. Some of them are not even responding to some of the mails we are sending to them, which is actually okay, right? And the training has started now, right? And I believe the training is progressive. You realize if you check the calendar, you see that we'll treat I think network defense first, and then we treat ethical hacking essential, network defense essential, ethical hacking essential, and then we treat the other one. So it's kind of progressive. So they might get confused along the line. But if you have anyone that wants to join, you can reach out to Glory or me. You know, we'll find a way around it, right? So don't worry about that. But we want to ensure that everyone that is going to be on the caller will just know that, okay, this is the number of people we are dealing with and we are paying attention to, right? For instance, we have over 200 people on the group. How many of you are on the call right now? So we want really dedicated people that would not. Manuel, did you get that? Is that okay, Emmanuel?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Or
I got
if,
that.
yeah, if you have anyone that wants to join, just reach out to us. We'll find a way around it. All right. I think Jato Daniel also raised his hand. Jato Daniel, please go ahead.
Yeah. Good morning, Samuel. So I would
Morning.
like to know, is there a requirement for the device we'll be using, like a computer, a laptop? Is there like a memory requirements?
Okay. I think I could speak with that, but I prefer Timmy to Timmy, I don't know if you're on the call. If you can just quickly speak to that regarding their laptop requirements. Because what we told them is that at least come with a laptop that's at least minimum of 8 gig RAM and a sizable space, say 500 and above. But I don't know if there are any special requirements for laptop, Timmy.
Good morning, Samuel.
Good morning.
For these essentials, there's no specification, but if you are willing to go above these essentials, there will be specifications. But for these essentials, you don't have any specification on that.
Okay. All right. So Daniel, I think that's clear. So if you have a good laptop that is working, that is not shutting down when you remove the charger from you are good to go. All right, Daniel, thank you. Hamed Sultan, please go ahead.
Good.
Sultan.
Ahmad.
Amon. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Okay, I just want to ask and also raise concern about the fact that you said that you guys are going to take attendance, at any time. And I'm concerned because sometimes the network can be very bad and to just log you out and to take some minutes or some time and log back in. And if you just take attendance within that window, it's kind of unfair to the person. So that is what I just want to.
Okay, thank you, Ahmad. All right, that's actually a very valid reason, and it's part of what we talked about when we were thinking about how we'll go around it, because we want to do it in such a way that we are fair to everyone also. So what we'll do is the team will look into it. But be rest assured that when you show up for class, because the thing is, we'll take attendance 2 hours into the class. Some of the people that won't even start, they will just take attendance and leave the class. So we don't want such to happen. The team will look into it, and just be assured that if you show up for class, you will be noted. Right? We'll find a way around it. So don't worry about that, right? You just ensure that you're showing up for class and you're showing up on time, right? Is that okay, Hamad?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. I saw someone else raising their hand. Okay, I think that's all the hands that are raised. I don't know if you have any question in the comments. Gloria, are you seeing anything in the comments? Gloria, are you there?
Yes, I am. I don't see anything in the comment section. Okay, more people have raised their hands though. We have Ahmed Sultan. Okay, are you getting certificates? Wisdom Inyang is asking if we're getting certificates. Can everybody hear me? Am I
Yeah, we can
audible?
hear you. Yes.
Okay,
Yes, we
okay.
can.
Yes, you will be getting a certification of participation, yes, after the training. But you need to note that you need to attend all trainings. So we'll be deciding how that will be done later, but you need to attend classes. I know some people are just planning to like listen to recordings and just be like, oh, I'll get the certificate. No, you need to attend classes. So next question. Yes, you will be able to get access to the recording for future purposes.
Okay, Emmanuel. Emmanuel, yes, please go ahead. What questions do you have? Kendi Okuyemi, please go ahead. What are your questions? Is Kendi
Hello.
there?
Yeah, I'm here. Good morning,
Yeah,
sir.
good morning, Kendi. Please go ahead.
Thank you again once again. I'm joining from Lagos State. So my question is, I want to ask if there are any internship opportunities after the program, sir.
Not directly after essentials. you can communicate with Gloria after this call. But for our CH program, if you come in for our CH program, you will have opportunity for internship opportunities. So those are the criteria. If you come through our CH program, you have access to our internship program. All right.
Okay, sir.
All right. Thank you so much. Tolulope Olakunbi, please go ahead.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
Good morning, Tolulope.
Thank you so much. My question is somebody who has a background in risk management and insurance. I think which aspect of the cybersecurity would you recommend for such?
Please come again. What career path?
Somebody who has a background in risk management and insurance.
Risk management and insurance. Oh, that is correct. Now, because you are just coming in, yes. Have you taken any cybersecurity essentials course before? Maybe CCT, Computer Security Plus, any one of that? Okay, so we are starting with you with entry level. So you come in either as CCT or Computer Security Plus. Then we can talk about GLC, right, or risk management. There's governance, risk, and compliance for you, but you have to have the basic knowledge, right, and technical background. And one of the issues we have that people don't want to come through technical background before going to management level, right?
Okay.
But those are things we talk about. But you have to take our essential courses. That is either CCT or Computer Security Plus. So please kindly reach out to Samuel regarding that so we can mentor you more on that and counsel you on the right career path. All right, Joshua, please go ahead. Thank you so much, Olilokpe.
Okay. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Good morning, Joshua.
I want to ask. Personally, someone like me, I'm not a fan of online studies. This is the first time I'm engaging in it and all of that. I don't know if you people have a plan for people who wants to come on site and study, who does not reside in Lagos. Do you people offer accommodations and the rest? Because I think I've seen one school who does that, but I don't know if you people do too. That's the part I want to get clarification from. Thank you.
Well, for now, we don't provide accommodation, but we do physical, online, and hybrid. So I know that you are talking about you not being good online, but I'm not sure if you've attended any online classes. So the same experience you have in physical, you also have online. But regarding that, please you can also reach out to Samuel personally so he can counsel you further on your issues. All right, thank you so much. And Damlari, please go ahead. Damlari, please kindly unmute your mic and go ahead. Okay, like Damlari is not available. Okay.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, Damlari.
Good morning. So my questions are: is there okay? I think I saw something like a timetable as touching this is what the classes will be. These are the things that we have. And what about system speculations as touching this is a minimum gigram and all.
Now for the essentials, right? For the essentials, we are not giving any system certification, right? Because it's just a training for you to come and learn. But when you want to come and learn further, then there will be system specification. Normally for our system specification for our in-house courses, we recommend 16 gigram for i7 and the minimum of 500 gig SSD. That's the ROM. So that's our in-house specification. But for these essentials, it's not a requirement, right? But if you want to take a course further, our minimum requirement is 16 gig RAM, Core i7, Core i5, then at least 500 gig SSD. If you have resources for above, that is completely fine. I hope that answers your question. Larry.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Abib, kindly please go ahead.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Abib.
I have a question, sir.
Please go ahead.
I'm actually doing my master's in information. I'm a lawyer. I'm doing my master's in information technology law. So and also cybersecurity has to do with something that has to do with is something related to technology.
Yes, that is correct. And also to cyber law. Yes, that's correct.
Yes, I know about that. So I want to know what is the connection between information technology and cybersecurity, sir?
Now, information technology is just a wide scope, right? Which cybersecurity is also an umbrella under, right? Anything that has to do with information is under information security, not even technology, right? Now, there's a technology part, that information technology, you have the wide scope under it, right? We have networking, we have embedded system, we have electronics under it, we have control system under information technology. Then we have also information security. So anything that has to do with information, whether electronic or non-electronics, falls under information security. The next has to do with digital electronics, now fall under was cyber security, right? So that's the
Okay, I
last
get.
envelope. Yes, that is correct.
Okay,
But
that's
for
my first
information,
question, sir.
yeah, for information technology, it's also a broad umbrella under computer engineering. It's a wide scope under that.
Okay, I get.
All
Okay.
right.
I, my second question is that I actually do not have a laptop, but I have a tab where I do almost everything that I need to do on the laptop. I do it on the tab. So can I use it for this program, or is it is important for me to get a laptop?
Now, for this program, it is fine, but for further courses, I know open that you know that from that information law that you are doing, you still need to understand the technology in cybersecurity. You want to move into cyber law. I know that cyber law is very lucrative now, talking about cyber crime, cyber stalking.
Yes.
So yeah, so you have to also understand the technology before you can defend any client. And we still go about that. They say a lot under that. We still talk about laws, NDAs, and a lot under that. But for now, the tab is fine. But please make a commitment towards getting a laptop for further
By God.
courses. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Manuel. All right. I hope Samuel is back. Please, Samuel, are you back? Good morning, everyone. It's good to have you on the call. So my name is Tim Lane, and I'll be taking you on the first Essentials course. So it's good to see everyone. I'm sure it's good to see everyone on this call. And I know there's a lot of energy now. Everybody wants to learn cybersecurity, which is good. So please, frequently you might see my face and you might not as we go on, right? My face might show and my face. Okay, good. Okay. So I'm happy that a lot of people are actually coming to this career path, cybersecurity, and it's good to see everyone on this call. So security is a mindset and is a lifestyle, right? So the first thing is that you have to have the right mindset and the okay, let me lower Emmanuel's and so I won't be confused. All right, so it's a mindset and it's also a lifestyle, right? And you need consistency in this course, right? In this career path, you need consistency. And normally it's meant to be a boot camp, but we are giving it out as community service so that people can understand what cybersecurity is. So most of you, if I ask you what cybersecurity is, you just give me one word, and it is more than that. I'm sure that most of you have heard just a little we talk about. We talk about information security, we talk about GRC just in this little time we've talked about, and there's still more regarding. Someone has talked about risk management. So some of you don't know the right from your left, and some of you have gone to social media, you've heard a lot. And this is some of you have in your mind is money. Like, I'm sure that 60%, what is your mind? There's money in cybersecurity. You are correct, actually. It's not a myth. But there are a lot of myths you hear online, right? And it can be a troubling waters in your mind where you don't settle. And that's why we are here to show you the right career path and also mentor you on the right way to go, right? And also, for this course, you need to put your mind and its consistency. It's not that I'll see about 85 people today and tomorrow I'm seeing 80 people. It doesn't work like that, security. It's garbage in, garbage out. Whatever I give to security is what it gives back to you. It's whatever attention you give to cyber security that gives back to you. So it's not a road that you find shortcut to it and you believe you make money in it. It doesn't work like that. It's garbage in, garbage out. Whatever I give to security is what it gives back to you. It's whatever attention you give to cyber security that gives back to you. So it's not a road that you find shortcut to it and you believe you make money in it. It doesn't work like that. It even goes beyond money. It goes beyond passion. It goes with dedication and consistency. And now why I'm talking about consistency is that because most of you are just beginning in this career path, you might not really understand when I talk about consistency, whether it's convenient or it's not convenient. That's why I say it's a lifestyle, right? Cybersecurity is a lifestyle. It's more than a career path. It goes to your lifestyle and is a mindset. So one of the things we also do here, apart from teaching, is to give you the right mindset, right? Is whatever rubbish that you have in your mind concerning it, you try and filter the weeds out and you have the correct information. And information that is correct is what gives the right opportunities also. So those are what we'll be learning. I might not have the time to go much into those soft skills, but I'll talk more about the technical skills. So if anybody wants to go further, then I can come towards the soft skills. So pardon me for that. I'll be talking more about technical aspects because we have limited time. And if I'm able to talk more about industrial aspects and some soft skills, that is fine. All right, let's go right into it. If we talk about network defense essentials, and this is very important, as far as anything that has to do with digital assets, it also has to be defended, right? And network is a very large scope and it needs defense. Okay, before I talk about this, so we have other courses that we offer. We offer these courses that is certified secure computer user. We have the certified network defender. So these are people that defend the network. The network is a very large group and also goes towards network security. We have the certified ethical, which we'll be also learning about essentials regarding it, right? Now, this just is saying that to catch a thief, and you must be able, like, one must understand the aspect of it before you catch a thief. Now, they always say that 100 days is for Abi. Out of 100 days, they say every day is for the thief, but 1 day is for the owner. So let's say there are 100 days. That talks about that the thief has 99 days and the owner has 1 day. That talks about that the thief is 99 times smarter than the owner. That's what it means, right? So the thieves are 99 times smarter than the owner. So to catch one, you must be able to think like one. So those are the concept of ethical hacking. Then penetration tends to go deeper than that. This is more of industrial aspect of it, right? So you understand scoping, you understand engagement, you understand the financial part. But every skill needed for CTEM is what you learn in CEH. Then we have the forensics, we have the incident handling, and we have the management level C. So we also have the application security, either Java or .NET. That's under C#. We also have the threat intelligence. And now almost all these courses, they're threat intelligence in it, right? Because you need to understand the techniques, the tactics, and the procedures of these hackers. So you must be proactive. That's what this means, right? Most of the time when you talk about most of these CND, CSA, most of them are reactive. But when it comes to putting threat intelligence, it makes it proactive. That means that when you are ready, even before the attack comes. Now, if the concept before that, I cannot be attacked, right? That's what the concept was before. But now the concept is that I can be attacked any day or at any time, right? But if I'm being attacked, how do I continue business and how do I recover from business? That talks about the incident response aspect. That talks about the business continuity and disaster recovery. So even though I'm being attacked, so that's also going to risk management. That means I know what my critical assets are, I know what my secondary assets are, I know what my primary assets are, right? Because now it's more of business risks than technical risk. It's more of business. That means what are the return on investment? Every company is looking for return on investment, right? And that's what trade intelligence can also help you to do, to help you to prepare, right? So, and there's a lot of things that not make security to be 100%. One of these is finances, some of things is knowledge gap, and a lot of things like that, which I'm not able to go deep into. They have the SOC analysts and so on and so forth. Okay, let's go into the network defense essentials. So we're talking about 12 modules today and tomorrow. Now, with the increase in the usage of emerging technology, it has become increasingly important to secure information and data processed online. Now, the more the information, the more the networking, the more it needs defense. Let me give you a simple example. Before, if someone wants to come and rob your house, right, they need to come and carry a gun because there was no transfer. The liquid, the cash was just monetized, right? They have the cash at physical. So if anybody wants to come and rob you before, they have to come to us and carry a gun. But now, with the help of you being transferred, any attacker might not need to come to us to come and rob you, right? They can actually hijack those transactions, right? That your transaction is now digital. So I don't need to come to us to come and carry your gun before I wipe that money. So the more the ease of life, the more the ease of digital accessibility, the more security it needs. Example, you are driving a Tesla car. Before, you had one controlling your car, you don't control your brake. Well, you still control them, but let's say it's just a self-driving car. Now, if you press the brake, it won't press if they hijack that car. If you press it today tomorrow, it will not press. All these ones that are saying that they are kidnapping, they can even just redirect car to where they want to kidnap you. Now, it's very good now, self-driving car, you are sleeping, the car is driving itself. The more the ease of it, the more security it is. Some of you also, Alexa, open my window. Alexa, close my window. It's very interesting, right? You sleep on your bed. Alexa, please, I want this. Alexa, I want that. Let me just say simple of Alexa, open my window. Alexa, close my window. Before you don't open your window, and you don't closing your window. Now they are telling Alexa to open your window. If they hijack Alexa now and they suffocate the person to death, if it's in Nigeria, yeah, that's them. Because they never know that someone hijacked Alexa. And the person will suffocate because they will not open, they will hijack Alexa. So the more the ease of life, right? The more the ease of networking, the more security it makes. And most of these information are now digital. You are the old person now, you have become digital. Most of you, everything you have just from your digital footprint, I can know much about you. I can know your location, I can know how you think just from your digital footprint. So almost everything we have now is digital and it needs security. So as far as it has to do with the digital asset or has that to have to do with information, it has to be what? It has to be secure. So those are the things we'll be talking about in this module. So we need to understand the fundamentals of network security. So we're talking about network security controls, network security protocols, and network security devices. So a complete, secure, and robust network can be designed with proper implementation and configuration of network security elements, which are the network security controls, network security protocols, and network security devices. What are the goals of a network defense? What is the goal of network defense? I've said some when I was talking now. So the ultimate goal of network defense is to protect an organization. I hope you can see the letters where you will still get the materials, but I hope that you are seeing my screen and it's visible. Can you all see my screen?
Yeah, actually, yeah, and it's visible, please.
The screen is
All right,
visible.
thank you very much. All right, thank you. So the ultimate goal of network defense is to protect an organization's information system and network infrastructure, right? From unauthorized access, misuse, modification, service, denial, and degradation, and what? Destruction. And these are very important, right? But this talks about a lot of things. Now, organizations rely on information security principles and to attain defense in depth security, we will be talking about confidentiality, integrity, availability, non-repudiation, and authenticity. So information assurance principles. Now, one of it, I just said now, is confidentiality, right? This enables that information is not disclosed to unauthorized persons. And this also is from a conventional security system, just like a military system, right? Information is only allowed to go to the right person. Let me give you an example. Let's say a field agent, most of you watch this movie, right? A field agent goes on a mission. You see that sometimes if it doesn't have the required authorization to check that artifact, and he goes ahead and check whatever is there, and he has an information disclosure. You see that most of the time is either the different, let's say the CIA or the FBI that will be looking for the agent itself because it doesn't have the required resources to keep that information based on its level. Let's say it's a corporal now, right? Now, because you have that information and this is national security, because you have that information does not make it that they will promote you to a general tomorrow. Now, a general has resources allocated to him in terms of people monitoring him, people defending him. He has a number of soldiers defending him. He has a number of resources to keep that information. So you see that most of the time when you watch this movie, some information are not meant to be checked, even though you are not going on that mission. Based that it's disclosed, you don't have the resources to keep the information. Okay, so I'm talking about confidentiality also. So I'm saying that example is your bank card, right? Now, only if you have access to your bank card. Let's say another person have access to your bank card, that means they breach of confidentiality. And confidentiality talks about that something you have, and something you know. Something you know is actually your password, something you have is your biometrics, something you have can be a token. Then integrity. When we talk about integrity, you must first have the knowledge that data move from one point to the other. So you must agree that data move from one point to the other. Let me ask a simple question. Let's say you make a call to your friend in the US and you said hello, how did that hello go from your phone to that your friend in the US? Does anybody have an idea? You make a call to your friend in the US, or you send a WhatsApp message, you send a hi message to your friend, maybe in Canada, in Germany, and you send a hi message. How do you think the hi message move from where you are to that person over there who has the same idea? Can quickly raise up your hand so I can call you. Have you ever thought of it? You make a call, right? You made a call to someone, and immediately the person have access to whatever you are saying. Okay, please, Nat, when next you are coming in, please kindly use your phone name so that I can call you by your name. So Nat, kindly go ahead. And Nat, you are not audible, please. Please, when you're audible, let me know. Olamide, please go ahead.
Good morning. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Okay. So I don't know, I'll try to be as detailed or as explanatory. Hopefully I get the answer correct. So
That's fine.
you type in the message and your device, whether your phone, your tablet, your laptop, converts that into a digital signature. It's sent over your ISP to whatever servers that they use to transport all of that, whatever tunnel, and then over to the Facebook servers, and Facebook routes it accordingly to the recipient's device also. So the routing over the internet space is also done through the ISP. I think you are showing the image of fiber internet around the world already. So I believe that's how it is done. So from your WhatsApp message, it's converted to a digital signature over to the WhatsApp servers, and WhatsApp sends it to the recipient. Oh, I forgot to mention, I believe there's also an encryption. So it's encrypted before it gets to the internet space, and is decrypted on the recipient side. That's my
All right.
answer.
Thank you so much, Alamde. So you've talked about something, talk about routing, which is one of the major things. And talk about the application layer when it gets to Facebook and the routing. So thank you so much. So that's just a simple analogy, but I'm not able to go deep towards that. But this is what I want you to know, that all of us are all connected one way or the other. So it is not that the white are magicians. There's no magic existence, right? No magic at all. So data move from one point to the other. I can see that we are all connected all around the world. So if you look at this cable map, you can see these are cables that show that we are connected. In Nigeria, we have some of these owners of this cable. We have Glow One, we have May One, and so much and so forth. But you should know that your data move from one point to another, just like water move from one point to the other. So now, if you know that data move from one point to the other, now you're wondering that how do I make this call? And the person also says, now it's because of the choices of cable. Now, some of these have, if I show you some of these submarine cables, because they are fiber optic cables, like you can see, they move at the speed of light. It's just like I'm connecting NEPA wire. If I connect NEPA wire from here to US, if I switch on the light, how many seconds will it use to get to the US? Almost the same, yeah. So yeah, exactly, that's the same method, right? So these cables move at the speed of light. They are fiber optic cables. So anytime you see online, I see that one cable cut, maybe in Togo or Cameroon, yes, that's what it means. These are the cables they are talking about. And we have different companies holding this cable, right? And also, if you go on your CMD and you do trace route, so then you can see how data move from one router to another. Those are the ops in those cables. So how your data is moving from one router, just like you are traveling from year to year, you have different routes, right? So it's the same route you are checking. Maybe I'm coming to Ghana, I'm going to Egypt, just like the way you are taking those points before you get to Ghana. Those countries are meetings. You are meeting before you get to US. It's the same thing with routers, right? You have different ops of the router. So this just to establish that data move from one point to the other. So as far as data move from one point to the other, that data can be hijacked on the road. That way, mean. That means if I'm sending hello to someone, that hello can be changed to I. If I'm sending 5,000 naira to someone, that 5,000 naira can be changed to 500 along the way, because data actually move from one point to the other. Now, if data move from one point to the other, now integrity is saying that the information is not modified or tampered along the road. That means if I'm sending 5,000 to someone, that 5,000 should get to that person without being altered. That was integrity is talking about. If I'm sending I to someone, that I should not change to hello along the way. That means that I should be unmodified and get to the person the way I sent it. That was integrity is talking about. There are availability. This ensures that information is available, right, to authorized party without any disruption. That means that there is no disruption of service. That means the information is always available. Let me give an example. Let's say MTN is not working, Glo is not working, Airtel is not working for a week. What do you think will happen? We can think what will happen. Let's say all the ISPs are not available for a week. What do you think will happen? Have you imagined before? Let's say all the ISPs, they are not available for a week. I want to hear your ideas. What do you think will happen? I'm waiting for people to raise their hands. So have you ever imagined this? MTN is not working, Glo is not working, Elsa is not working. So there'll be a lot of problems actually, right? There'll be a lot of chaos. And some of you said, you are looking for someone, you are still shouting on the phone. Where are you? Are you at the garage? I can't see you. Imagine there's no phone at all and you're looking for someone. There's no network at all. How frustrating can it be? Some of you, just 1 minute, you are trying to do a bank transfer. Most of you have moved from GTB to Access to OPay to PAMPay just because of network issues. Now imagine all those ones are not available for 1 week. How do you think it will be? How many people will do that business? So that is why availability is very important, both to you as the end user and also to the what? To the providers of those information. Then non-reputation also, this talks about that the person sending the data or the person sending the message cannot deny sending the message, and the person receiving the message also cannot deny what? Receiving the message. Then RAF authentication, this ensures the identity of individual is verified, not just anybody send you a message, and also the identity of the data being sent to you. Now, what are the network defense benefits? One, to protect information assets. Now, most of you don't understand how expensive information are. Let me show you the average cost of a breach in the US. What's the average cost of a data breach? So can you see that? So that's how the average cost of a breach can cost at $4.44 million. And this just average. Normally average. If you see another one, someone talking about $9.86 billion. So information is very, very expensive. Data are expensive. Now, most of you have heard of this AI engineer code one, right? Now, you can see how much Meta is spending, right, just to get the right information in building AI models. That means correct information. That's really how expensive information are, or data, or even the correct data are. Now, most of you, the way you are information, like everything you have on the internet is information. And these things are very expensive. So we need to protect people's assets. To also comply with government and industry-specific regulations, this is when we talk about compliance and government laws. Just like we have in Nigeria, we have the NDPR, we talk about the Nigerian Data Protection Law, right? So to protect people's PII, that's personal information, right? And also to ensure secure communication with clients and suppliers. Also reduce the risk of being attacked. Now you can see that you are reducing the risk. It's not that it's completely impossible. It's not completely impossible. Security is never 100%. Even in the US, it's not 100%. But you can tolerate the risk as much as possible. That's when we talk about risk management. Also, gain competitive edge over competition by providing more secure services. You can see that in terms of banking system, in terms of telecommunication system, right? So you are trying to provide security and also what availability as much as possible. So what are the network defense challenges? One, distributed computing system, emerging threats. This is very important. They are threats almost every time, now and then. And that's why we are talking about threat intelligence. Right? There's a lot of things that will make security never 100%. And there's a lot of attackers over there trying to penetrate into the system. And because of what is happening now, a lot of things can make people want to hack. Right? A lot of things. The lack of what? Network security skills. Knowledge gap. You can see that knowledge gap is also a problem. A lot of people are not actually as knowledgeable as you think they are. And not that you hear a lot of things online. the most people are even doing the work are not even online. That's the funny thing. But I might never have the time to come on social media as much as possible. But there's a lot of noise concerning cybersecurity, and a lot of people don't understand the in-depth of it. And that's why we are beginning here so that you can understand it and also be able to make a career choice in it. So there's a lot of knowledge gap, skillful workers in cybersecurity. In fact, this is the rule. As far as there's any information digital asset or any digital asset in any company, right, there should be a security person. Or if there's no security person, there should be a consultancy company handling that company. Example, there are SMEs, like small business. They might not have the resources to have a department that is cybersecurity, but at least a company should be what? To be taken advantage of. Now we have different type of network defense approaches, and these are very important. So please, you must know this in your head, because when we are going to be having an assessment, and these are one of the things that will bring an assessment, because you need to have these things in your head. Now we have the preventive approach, right? This consists of methods or techniques that are used to avoid threats or attacks on the target system. So these are to avoid threats or attacks on the target network. So you are trying to be preventive, right? You are trying to stop attacks. Then we have reactive. This consists of methods or techniques that are used to detect attacks. Now, the first one I said was to avoid threats or attacks. That's been preventive, right? Then reactive. Now, most of the time, most companies are very reactive, but they are not proactive. That's one of the issues we have. That means they wait for a problem to come around before they are able to solve the problem, right? And sometimes being proactive goes a long way. When you come, I cannot be able to go deep into that, right? But being proactive is one of the major things that helps you with your risk management, helps you to reduce costs, helps you to be able to have a good incident response time, right? That means you're able to recover as much as possible, and you have low financial costs when it comes to disruption. It's very, very important, right? We have the retrocessive approaches. So this, when we talk about forensics, you examine the causes of an attack, which is to contain, to remediate, to eradicate, and recover from any damage. And we have the proactive, like I said. These are to make informed decisions on potential attacks in the future on the target network. So you can't predict, right? Your security is never 100%. I'll say that there's a lot of factors that don't make security 100%. A lot of factors. One of the things that majorly your security is even more than your return on investment most of the time. To secure the asset most of the time is more expensive than the return on investment of that asset. So you have to understand what are your critical assets, like I said the other time, your primary asset, your secondary asset, and so on and so forth. Right. And some of the time, companies need to spend more on research, because this strategy talks to research and development for you to understand what is happening over there and what is also available. How does it correlate to your business goal? That means the mission and the vision of your company. It is very important. So we also have network security controls. Now I'm going to the administrative security controls. So we have the administrative security controls, we have the physical controls, we have the technical controls. So the management implements administrative access to control and ensure the safety of the organization. And these are some people aspects to be going. We're going to a career aspect called the governance and risks and compliance. I want to talk about policies. Now, the first one is example are regulatory framework compliance, security policy, employee monitoring and supervising, information classification, security awareness and training. This is very important. Most of you also, as you come here, these are one of the things we also train you on security awareness. Now, as most people on direct security awareness is as important as every technical thing you are doing. It's more important as the IPS, the IDS, the firewalls. Most of the attacks you see, 70% are social engineering. That means people are not properly aware. Now, there's a mistake most people think, because someone is tech savvy does not mean they are security savvy or security aware. Imagine if someone that is a tech savvy is not security aware. Just imagine a normal user, a lot of things that they are involved in. Now, when you get to ethical hacking, you understand most of these things, major of these things. But you see how a lot of people are being attacked. Just simple things. It's not something easily, majorly that complex. Most of the time, they are very, very simple things. Very, very simple things. So security awareness is as important as the IDS, the antivirus, the whatever security technical measures you are putting there. They are very, very important. Let me give a simple example. Let's say I'm going to a military barracks. I'm not wearing a uniform. I'm just going there for the first time. You notice that the people at the front, they're like, what are you looking for? Who are you? Who are these? You ask me questions. Is that correct? Now, but let's say I call a general out and the general just come and pick me. Just imagine that I am the malware now. If I'm just the malware coming in, right? You said the file was just like, who are you? What are you looking for? What's your age? And all those stuff will block me out. But let's say a general now come and pick me from inside the barracks. He just hold my hand. There's a slim chance that anybody will ask me that who am I? That's the same way. It's just like the employee just come and pick the malware, just come, yeah, come in. That is just like where you are the one that brought it in, there's no problem. So security awareness is very, very important. They also have physical controls, right? So these are set measures taken to prevent unauthorized access to physical devices. Example, you can have locks, you can have fences, bar system, security guards, man trap doors. Most of you see this is common within First Bank. You can see man trap door, biometric system, lightning, motion detectors, CCTV, and alarms. So this help with physical security controls. Then the technical security controls. That's what most people are very, very familiar with. But every of these things are very important, from the administrative control to the physical control, then also to the technical controls. Then we have access controls, we have authentication, we have authorization. Although as we move on, I'll be breaking all this down to your level. We have auditing, we have security controls, and we have the network security devices. Then also we have different protocols, right? We have the radios, we have the TATAs, we have the Kerberos, we have the PGP, we have the HTTPS, we have the CLS, we have SSL, and we have the IPsec. Now, security protocols are also very, very important. Now, this talks about the ports and the services, right? All of them have to be secured, actually, because also the attacker cannot have access to your system without most of these ports being vulnerable. So they also come through one of these ports to have access to your devices. Okay, so let's talk about the radios. So radios talk about the remote authentication dialing user service, which is an authentication protocol. So we have authentication, we have authentication, and we have authorization. I'm going to tell you the difference between these three, between authentication, authorization, and accounting. What is the difference between authentication, authorization, and accounting? So I'm waiting. Who will raise up their hands and tell me the difference between these three? Okay. Olatuji, please go ahead.
Authentication is confirming the person information. Authorization is giving the person access.
Okay. What about accounting or auditing?
Accounting is like
please, I'm hearing you. Please, go ahead, Olatuji, please. Go ahead. Okay. Joshua, please go ahead.
Authentication, authorization, and accounting. Authentication, giving that permission to check whether somebody right to access the information. Authorization is when you have checked that the person is right to access the information, you give him the right or duration to that information. You authorize the person based on what you have checked about his information. If he's right to access the information, it's like a step in ladder. You first authenticate, then you authorize, then you give account. Account is keeping record of those who have access to that information and the time have the information and the time they spent with that information.
All right, thank you so much, and Joshua. Ridwan, do you have any addition?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead, Ridwan.
Okay, so authentication verifies your identity. Do you have the right credentials to come into these premises or check these premises as a whole? So after that is now being verified, then authorization verify your privilege level, your access. So even if you are authenticated to access this thing, so what is your privilege level access to check in this vicinity? Why accounting log every activity that is being going on anything you're accessing?
All right, thank you so much. Osho, do you have any contribution for me also?
No, not anymore. I think
All right.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. That's correct. Authentication, right? Who has access? Authorization, what kind of access do you have? Accounting, what did you do? Right. So remote radio talks about an authentication protocol that provides centralized authentication, just like the server. centralized authentication, authorization, and accounting for remote access server to communicate with a central server, right? That's what Radius does. Then also we have TACAS, is the same thing, right? So TACAS also is a network security protocol used for what? AEA. If I'm talking about AEA, I'm talking about authorization, authentication, and accounting, such as routers, devices, firewalls, and so on. So the same thing TACAS does. But there's a difference between TACAS and Radius. That's where I'm going. So Radius combines authentication and authorization, while TACAS will separate the three. Now, Radius does only encrypt the password. TACAS encrypt the username and password. Please, these differences are majorly very important. Both of them do the same thing, but these are the major differences between what Radius and TACAS. Then for Radius, they require each network device to contain authorization configuration. That means, example, for a wireless device connected with Radius, that means the wireless device will contain its own authorization configuration. But for TACAS, the central management for authorization, there's a central management for authorization configuration. And we have different ports that talks about TACAS and Radius. Then we have Kerberos. So Kerberos is also an authentication method for accessing a network. And we call it a ticket granting service. Now, most of your Microsoft devices use Kerberos for authentication nowadays. So it's a ticket granting service. That's what Kerberos is. We also have pretty good privacy, right? So this is an application layer which provides cryptographic privacy and authentication for network communication, but they are majorly used for emails. So they encrypt and decrypt email communication as well as authenticate messages with digital signatures and encrypt what stored files. So they are used for what? Email communication. That's pretty good service. They also have the secure multipurpose internet mail extension. This is also an application layer protocol, which is used for sending digital sign and also what encrypted messages. But there's something special about this. They use RSA system for email encryption. I'll still talk about encryption later in the course. We'll talk about symmetric and asymmetric encryption. But RSA is asymmetric. That means it uses both public key and a private key. They also have secure HTTP and HTTPS. Most of you have been using HTTPS. Whatever you're accessing, that is hypertext, right? For your www interfaces. So HTTPS is a secure communication. As at now, if you even send a website with HTTP, you should know that it's not secure. That means that whatever you are doing, there's no encrypted. There's no SSL, there's no TLS. That's what it means. But HTTPS is a secure version of what? Of HTTPS. And HTTP uses port 80, HTTPS uses port 443. So your first assignment I'll be giving you is the difference between, go and learn about common ports and their function. Common ports and their function. So learn about 25, right? So those are the questions I'll be asking you tomorrow. Learn about different common ports and their function. So we have the TLS. So the TLS ensures a secure communication between clients and server application over the internet, right? So it prevents the network communication from being injurious or tampered. So this helps also to prevent man-in-the-middle attacks. So that's the transport layer security. So they help for secure communication. It seems to be SSL. But we have vulnerabilities based on different versions of this TLS and SSL. So also have IPsec, which is internal protocol security, which is IPsec. And this is very important for IP level communication, right? So these are important for the network level communication, which is the layer 3 of your OSI layer. But please, who can even explain the OSI layer to me? What do I mean by OSI layer? Let's come to the basics. What do you understand by the OSI layers? OSI layers. Okay, so please go ahead.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning, Sultan.
Good morning. The OSI model is a well-defined model for that assigns different, should I say, different responsibilities to a different level for data or information moving from one device to the other. So it separates. The OSI model has 7 layers. It goes down from application to presentation to session to transport to network to data link and physical. So each of these layers, they have what they do and what they stand for when data is moving from one device to another.
Okay, thank you, Sultan. So let me quickly explain that because I'm seeing that some of us even have the basis of what this is. So let me come down to the basics. Um, so OSI layer is what we call this is the OSI layer. That's open system interconnection. That's the OSI layer. So I will explain it as simple as possible, just like a layman language. So you have the application, you have the presentation, we have the section, we have the network, we have the transport, sorry, we have the network, we have the data link, and we have the physical. Good. So let's say I want to send a hi message, right? I want to send a hi message from my friend. Let's say I'm sending a hi message from Nigeria to my friend in US. And let's say also I'm sending a car, right, from Nigeria here to US. Now, open system intercommunication is like a rule that different devices, different communications. Now, before it was just based on proprietary. That means it's only IBM and IBM devices that could communicate, right? I'll not go deep into AppNet, how the internet started. You can read that side. I'm teaching research now. Go and learn about how it started before it went to DOD and University of California, and so forth. So you can learn about that. But now I'm talking about these rules now, right? So now you say that any devices can communicate with each other, just like we have most of us are using different devices to communicate, right? So we are using a protocol for this communication. So no matter the devices we are using, it follows the same protocol, right? Even though you have the compressed DoD model, it's still the same format. So now let's say I'm sending a hi message from Nigeria to here. The first thing that, or a card, the first thing that I go to someone that can help me with it, like that is DHL that serves as an interface for a user, right? Also the iMessage, you can also use any protocol at the application level. Maybe some of you will use WhatsApp. Let's say some of you will use WhatsApp to send the hi message. WhatsApp. So sorry, please, my pen might not work really, but you should understand what I'm saying. Then also some of us will go to DHL to send the card. Go to DHL to send data. Now, DHL serves as an interface between the user, and the communication level, right? And most of it, when you send the iMessage, you don't even bother again. You only just to mark double. You don't even care. If it doesn't mark, you'll be causing anything. You don't even know what is going on with the transportation. I really don't care. The same thing when you take the car to DHL, you only just call your friend. How far you don't receive them. That's all. That's what we know, right? And there are different protocol at the application level that these different interface uses. Some there is HTTPS, some there is email, some there is IMA, whatever you are doing. So there are different protocols at the application layer, which you are familiar with. Some of them are HTTPS, FTP, and so on and so forth, DNS, right? Those are different protocols at the application layer. Then the next thing is, what kind of devices are you sending? That will happen at presentation layer. Is it a TXT file? Is it CSV file? Is it JPEG? Is it MP4? Is it MP5? Also, the section we asked that what kind of devices are you sending? You say that is a car. Also, at the presentation layer, some things happen also at the presentation layer. You can also encrypt at the presentation layer. Some people, let's say they are fraudulent, they don't even detail any company that they want to use. Let's say most of those guys they can put cocaine and encrypt. They can also do that at the presentation layer. Alright, they can do at the presentation layer to remove the tires of those cars. That's compression. They can remove the tires, remove the bonnet of those cars, right? To make it more lighter. Also, that's happen at the presentation layer. Then also, it goes to the session layer. Then see that the receptionist at the DHS office, they will put a dialogue. It's dialogue that happens at this session layer. What we call a dialogue. Then on that parcel, under your card, there will be a date that the car is meant to leave DHL. It's not going to sleep inside DHL's office. So there's going to be a dialogue that when is this car meant to leave DHL, right? It's communicate with a dialogue. Also, there are different communication at the session layer. We have the simplex, we have the half duplex, and we have the full duplex communication at the session layer. Simplex is one-way communication. Example, Emmanuel, please go ahead. Emmanuel, you're raising up your hands. Do you have a question? Are you misplaced? Okay. So as simple as the one-way communication. Example is your radio, right? Example, if someone say that you are stupid on the radio, can you reply the person? You can't reply the person now. A message is that this person, you are very stupid. There's no you should that you are receiving the message. The person does not know maybe you received the message or not. So that's just a one-way communication. Then we have the half-duplex communication, which is a two-way communication, but one at a time. Example is your walkie-talkie. You can't listen and speak at the same time. A hub also is an example of what? Of half-duplex. And also, we have the full duplex. That means that what is a two-way communication and it's simultaneous. Example is your mobile devices. You can speak and talk at the same time. But they think that, of course, they're not barbarians now. It's there for you to now use IP to know that am I meant to speak, am I not meant to speak. Then we have the transport layer, which talks about end-to-end delivery at the transport layer, right? Now, your car now, this is where transportation starts. Now, this first thing is what we call the upper layer protocols, right? Everything here is still happening in DHL, still happening in your devices. But when it comes to transportation layer now transportation starts. Transportation layer downwards. That talks about the movement, right, of that data. The under the transportation layer, we have to end-to-end delivery. That's when your car, let's say that, okay, this car goes through this port. Let's say it goes through another port or goes through Lagos port. I'm not talking about ports here, right? Also, no matter what service is happening on your device, no matter what is happening on your device, there's a service and a port allocated to it. That means a port, there's a service responsible for everything happening on your phone. It's not just magic. There is a service happening for it. Example, you want to send a file, there is a service and a port allocated to it. Example, you want to browse, there is a service and a port allocated to it. Example, you want to send email, there is a service and a port allocated to it. And here on the transport layer, we have two protocols there. We have the TCP and the UDP. We have the TCP and the UDP. Please, you can tell me the difference between TCP and UDP. Please, can you unmute your mic? If you want to speak, please kindly raise up your hand. I have a lot of people here. And please, I don't want any distraction at the same time. Please, what is the difference between TCP and UDP? Yes, Larry, please kindly go ahead.
So somebody's mic is unmuted, so I don't know if I should continue speaking.
Please go ahead.
Okay, I really don't have much idea about the little I can explain is UDP is like when you send a data to an end. So regardless of whether it reaches there, it just keeps sending, whether the end is receiving it or not. That's for UDP. But TCP is sending according to it will check whether the end, like okay, something like YouTube. YouTube, for example, uses UDP. That's why sometimes when you off your data, you can still be watching videos because it's not concerned about whether the end receiving it just keeps sending. That's why for UDP. That's for UDP, but that's the knowledge I have concerning it.
All right. Well, you tried. Ridwan, please go ahead.
Okay, so UDP is a connectionless protocol. We popularly refer to it as a best effort, simply because it doesn't initiate a connection before it starts flowing the packets. So, but TCP is known as a reliable connection because it first establish a three-way handshake connection before it starts flowing the packets, and it's also one of the most important difference between the two is how packets actually arrive in terms of the way they are sent in terms of segments. So, example of where we use UDPs, let's say you are streaming a movie or you are streaming a live conference video where they don't really care about if there is some kind of network delay or something, but they want the packet. They don't really care about the way the segment comes, but they just want the connection to be fluent and flowing. But in TCP, the packets can actually take time, but it has to come in the correct segment where it's being sent.
Thank you so much. That is correct. And also, like I said, most of these things, it's just to open your mind towards it. I might not be able to go as deep as possible. Now, for TCP, like you said, that's what you're talking about is flow control, right? So that means for TCP you must, of course, they must say LOI. That's what we call three-way handshake. And for TCP, it knows already, the receiver knows what is expected. Example, this canal. When we are sending it from Lagos port to, let's say, Miami Port in the US now. Now, Miami Port know that, okay, I'm receiving this car at this so date. That means they have a pre-talk before the data even move. That will call 3 handshake. That means they have a pre-talk. They agree themselves. That's what called 3 handshake, right? So also there's a flow control. That means they agree on a particular speed. So that means if the data is not complete, the end will not receive it. For TCP, right, there's flow control. And also one of the big things about TCP is error correction. Right, that means if the data is not complete, now data can be misplaced. We've established that data moves from one point to the other. So there are a lot of factors that can make data misplaced on the way. So the data is not complete because they've done a pre-talk. Example, Miami knows that this car is coming on this date. So if he doesn't see the car, they call Lagos Port that what's the problem? We didn't see this car. This car is this kilogram or whatever is meant to come. These are number of passengers that are meant to come. They know already. Right, then they've established a reliable connection. So if that is not complete, they can say there's error correction at the what? At the transport layer. And also have been doing and so on and so forth at the transport layer. And they can be used for documents. Example, you use TCP where the reliability of the data is more important than the speed of the data. That means the reliability of that data is more important than the speed of the data. Example, document. You want that document complete than the speed of the document entering your phone. Example, sometimes images, right? You want the image complete than you having scattered images. Some of you say if the thing is not, you say that WhatsApp reduce the quality of my image. Yes, we still talk about that under priorities of service, or quality of service rather, right? So you use TCP where the example you are sending 5,000 naira. The speed of the 5,000 naira is not important as you getting that 5,000 naira complete. Example, email, right? The ability of that email is more important because if the email is not complete, I remember when we used to use Symbian phone before, all those Symbian phone there. If you send a lot of messages on the SMS, you can receive one message today, it will not be complete. Maybe the following week, you now receive the complete messages. Yes, because the technology was not really sweet there. But the error correction took a longer time. So the ability of the data is greater than the speed of the data, is more important than the speed of data used TCP. But for UDP, like you rightly said, it's connectionless. They don't even care about you. UDP, the sender just any data. Whether I receive it, it's fine. We don't receive it, it's fine. I doesn't care the kind of devices we are using, right? They don't agree on any speed. And most of the time, we are watching most of these things can lag based on different factors and doesn't care about your internet services, like you rightly said. Now, you use UDP where the speed of the data is more important than the reliability of data. Most of you that watch football, do you want you to do error correction? That means if you miss 5 minutes, do you want you to correct the 5 minutes? No. Some of you said if it's 1 minute lagging, you are very, very annoyed. You don't want it to lag at all because the speed of that football is more important than the reliability of you getting that data. So you want that data in real time. So you use UDP where the speed of the data is more important than the reliability of that data. Okay. Then we have the network layer. Now we've carried our car to the port. The next thing is the transportation of that car. Let's say you carry that to the airport or to the seaport. That one we talk about the transport layer. Now on the network layer, we're now talking about routers. That's like your plane or your ship. Those are the international cars. Those are the ones that move you from one point to the other. And here we talk about protocols like IP addresses. We talk about logical IP addresses. So you read about this on your own. You read about private IP and public IP. You also read about IPv4 and IPv6, right? So read about that. So there's a difference between IPv4 and IPv6. IPv4 is 32 bits, IPv6 is 128 bits. And that IPv4, because it's not enough for all of us. If you do 2 raised by 32 bits, it's about 4 billion plus. China alone, they will finish the 4 billion plus. And that's why you have what? Private and public IP addresses. And now that's why most of you feel you're anonymous online. You're not anonymous. Now, most of you, the idea you have about anonymous is very, very, very interesting. But I won't go deep into that. For this exercise, I won't go deep into that at all. Now, most of you feel that one, you are not anonymous from your ISP. You are not even the internet. You are not even the one providing internet for yourself. So you are anonymous. You are going through an ISP, is it not? You are going through an ISP before you go to the internet. Your VPN actually works after your ISP, not before your ISP. So get that in mind. Your VPN works after your ISP, not before your ISP. So when you understand private and public address, public IP address, you have a little idea. So go and learn about the difference in public IP address. Then how do they convert private to public? Now talk about network address translation, right? So go and learn about that. Then now your plane or your ship is carrying the car. That's what's happening at the network layer. Just like the routers, they are carrying your data. They have the data link layer. So they talk about the switches, right? Now this is where switching occurs. It then talk about your MAC addresses. And MAC addresses are unique and they are 48 bits, right? MAC addresses just like your IMEI. Those are your MAC addresses. They have the physical layers that talks about the 0 and 1. They're not these nonsense that converted into binary. At least for this kind of devices we are using, convert to 0 and 1. We are not talking about quantum computing now. Now for the normal binary that is voltage, now your cable uses EMF or voltage. Then we have radio waves. Then we have fiber optics that uses what? Light rays, right? So they go at the speed of light. So it converts to binary, that's 0 and 1. Then this is how the data now moves from one point to the other. This is just a simple analogy towards it. Does anybody have any question thus far before I move ahead? Any question thus far? Is there anything you don't understand? Is there anything I misplaced about before I go ahead? Okay, that's good. Let's talk about identification, authentication, and authorization. Now, the most serious risks that organizations are facing today is unauthorized access to sensitive information or sensitive data. Now, to control such data breaches, organizations require strong identification, authentication, and authorization mechanism to efficiently manage access to physical assets and sensitive data, because information are very expensive, right? There's some information that are confidential. Your information are very, very important. And let me give you a simple example. Let's say your mobile devices, or your bank app. Let me give your bank app as an example. Let's say your bank app, you just saw advertisement of I don't want to use a big word. Let's say you see all these Bet X1 advertisements on your bank app. How will you feel? You just open your bank app and you see one next bet. Or you see all these rubbish that is on Facebook on your bank app. You fall be scared that what is happening on my bank app? Exactly. So you know there will be a lot of trust on that bank app, right? So sometimes all these things are data are very, because you have a lot of risks. Your money is there, which is in data form. It's not, you are not holding it physically, it's in data form. And it's very, very important to you, right? So you said you are very, very conscious of when it's happening on that mobile app. It's the same thing also. So identification, authentication, and authorization mechanism are very important. So nobody does not have access, not just anybody having access to those data. Now let's talk about access control. Now, access control is the selective restriction to access to an asset or a system or network resources. So it's the restriction of access. So not just everybody to have access. Now these are all under for measurement for confidentiality. Now it protects information asset by determining who can access it, who exactly have the authorization to access it. So access control mechanism uses user identification, authentication, and authorization to restrict or grant access to a specific asset or resource. Just like your system also, you have little access control. Example, some people can be admin, some people can be user, some people can be guest. So you can see that most of the time you have less privileges on these different accounts. Most of you don't even know the difference between the admin, user. There's a difference between admin and user actually. But most of you know the difference between admin and guest. That one is very common. So these are different stages also in organization or for a data, different privileges. And I feel that this came from was conventional security, just like the military security, military parastatals. You just don't have information to access because you need the required resources to have access to a particular information. Every information is very, very confidential. So you must have the required resources to keep that information. Then we have access control terminologies. We have the subject, right? That means that's the particular user or process that wants to access the results, the resource, right? That's the subject. Example, you want to access your Facebook, you are the subject. You are the one trying to access that information. That's the subject. Then we have the object. That is the resources they want to access. Example, maybe it's the file, maybe it's the server, maybe it's the workstation. whether it's the database, that is the object. That means that is the resources that want to be accessed. Then we have the reference monitor that checks the access control rule. Do you have the privilege to access it, or is it read only that you have? Can you write? Can you read and write? Do you have all permission on that asset? That was about was the reference monitor. And the operation talks about the action taken by the subject on an object. What did you do? Did you transfer a file to it? Did you read a file? Did you write a file? Did you execute a file on it? Right, that talks about the operation done on that object. I can see where authentication and authorization comes in. For you to go before the reference of monitor, you have the what authentication. That should that what you have the required privilege to access what the object. Then, if you are given access, what are the things that you can do? Can you read? Can you write? Can you execute? That was about authorization. What privilege do you have on that object? Authentication shows that what do you even have access to that object. Then we have access control principle. We have separation of duties. This talks about the breakdown of authorization process in various steps. These different privileges are assigned to each step to individual subject requesting for a resource. But the major thing about separation of duties is that this ensures that no individual has the authorization right to perform all functions. That means one person does not have the right to perform all functions. So everybody have different duties. But one person does not have the right to perform all functions or deny access to everybody. That was separation of duties. So I'm not giving the alpha and the omega to one person. They also have the need to know. So the need to know access control principle. That means access is provided only to the information that is required for performing a specific task. That means that's the only thing you need to know to access the object. They have the principle of less privilege, which this is one of the best, and zero trust. That means that you only have the minimum requirements, the minimum. Now, the principle of privilege extends the need to know. Yes, it's an extension of need to know, right? In providing access to a system. That means it provides what the only thing you need, not more or not less. That means not more of what you need to know or what you need to perform authorization or not less. That means if a user can only read, you only have that read permission. If the user can read and write and not execute, that means you only have the read and write permission. You only have the least privilege you need to perform an operation. They also have access control models. So this talks about the standard we provide a predefined framework for implementing the necessary level of access control. So you have the mandatory access control, you have the discretionary, you have the role-based, and we have the role-based. Now, the mandatory talks about that the owner has the right to assign privilege. That means it does not permit the end user to decide who can access the information. And this is very, very very popular. That means that only the admin or the owner, just like you on your system, you have access to the file that you created. You are the owner of the file. You can say who can edit, you can say who cannot edit, you can say who can read, you can say who can write. So you are the one that has right to assign privilege, not the end user. You are the one that assign your privilege. But discretionary access control, the end user has complete access to the information they own. That means if they created the file as an end user, they have access to it. They have complete access. Then also we have the role-based access control. That means permission are assigned based on user roles. And this is very important in a large environment. Example, in a large environment, I will not be giving privileges based on your names. I'll be giving privileges based on roles. That means that what if you are a manager, I give you what privileges based on that role of a manager. If you are maybe a network defender or a network administrator, I give you access based on what on that admin, on that network administrator. So if I sack you tomorrow, I don't need to be changing your name. I just assign another user to that role, which makes it very, very easy for me. So I don't need to assign based on names, but I will assign privileges based on. So whoever I promote to that role, I just give them access to that user role. Please, you can go for a break for the next 15 minutes. All right, guys. Are we back? It's good to see everyone back. Okay. So sorry, I'm just checking your chat, and I noticed that a lot of us need some background knowledge. I'm just trying to see if we're all following along. And I saw that some people were lost, right? So I will go back to some fundamentals to help us so that we understand the basics. Now let's go to basics of computer networking, right? What is a computer network? A computer network is a collection of interconnected devices that share resources and information, right? So it's a collection of devices. So what are they meant to do? They're meant to share resources and they are meant to share information. And there's a difference between electronic device and a network device. We can tell the difference between an electronic device and a network device. What is the difference between an electronic device and a network device? You raise up your hands if you know the difference. What is the difference between an electronic device and a network device? Okay, Manuel, please go ahead.
Let me try. So an electronic device is any device that uses electricity or that is powered by electricity that can perform certain functions. While a network device is any device that can be able to share information, interact with information with one another. I think, I guess.
Yes, that's correct. So electronic device actually is any device that uses electricity, right? That is power. While network devices, any devices that can share its resources. Now, all electronic devices are not network devices, but all network devices are what? Are electronic devices. Let me come again. Not all electronic devices are network devices, but all network devices are electronic devices. And this is the basis of the computer networks we are talking about. Now, I'll still go back to all the formulation, and I saw that a lot of people were not following back to OSI layer, networking, different type of networks, and so on and so forth, so that we can understand when we talk about identification, authentication, and so on as I move on the next class. But once you understand the basis, is allow you to comprehend different network security defense and why we need a defense, right? Now we have different basic terminologies of network computers. Of computer network, we have the node. The node can also be the workstation, right? We have the networking devices, we have the service provider, we have the transmission media. I've talked about the transmission media before, where I talked about the coaxial cable, we have the twisted pair cable, we have the fiber optic cables, we have radios, that is what radio waves. Now, how does a computer network work, right? We have the network node, we have the link. So the working of computer network and CPU device are rules or protocols which help in sending or receiving data via the links which allow computer networks to communicate. So I also have the firewall, right? I still talk about firewall in CND. So this is one that allows for access control. So it gives access to a device or rejects access to a device or an IP. And we have type of network, computer network architecture. We have the, when Consular, please go ahead. I think when Consular was raising her hand. Okay, so we have type of network architecture. We have this client to server and we have the peer-to-peer. So for the client to server, the type of computer network architecture in which the nodes can be server or client. And what is a server? Who can tell me what a server is? What do you understand by what a server is? What is a server? And please, the more you answer questions, the more I will also be adding to your points. Okay, Sultan, please go ahead.
All right. A server is a computer that is able to deliver some set of services to other computers.
Exactly. That is correct. That is correct. So We also have the peer-to-peer architecture in which there's no master or there's no slave. So in peer-to-peer architecture, there is not any concept of a central server, right? That means they have two equal rights. There's not like a server, it's just a workstation to workstation or even a server to a server, right? So those are peer-to-peer architecture. In which either services is working either as a client or server. So some of you, I'll see some of your questions. I'm not teaching NDE now, I'm just teaching the basics of computer network so that you understand when I go back to NDE. That's the network defense essentials. So that's what I'm talking about, right? So I'm just teaching the basics of computer networks. So when I'm talking about the defense of this network, you understand better. Then we have network devices, right? We have the router, we have the hub, we have the bridge, we have the wireless router, we have the switch, and we have the wireless devices. Now, what is a hub? Let me talk about a hub. Okay, let me go back. I'd like to demonstrate what a hub is. So this is a hub. We have system A, we have system B, we have system C, we have system D. So all these guys that I'm doing like a box, they are what we call a port, right? These are physical ports. And some of them you have it on system and RJ45 or an Ethernet port. So these are ports. So for a hub, this is what is special about a hub. If you are sending, rather, it's not even special. A hub is outdated. I don't expect any organization to be using a hub as of now. So let's say system A is sending to system D on a hub. B will get the information. System B will get the information. And system C will also get the information. That means that if system A is sending to system D, B will get the information, C will get the information. But because of the NIC, which is the network interface card, right? The NIC will see that, okay, it's not like I'm coming to a room and I'm shouting, who is Glory? Who is Glory every time? Of course, all of us hear who Glory is. I can give a message, are you Glory? Are you Glory? Are you Glory? Are you Glory? You get the message, but because it's not your name, we basically reject it. But for the fact you got the message, doesn't make it secure at all. Also on a hub, if the boundary of this hub is 10 kilobytes per second, it is 10 kilobytes per second. That means everybody on this network is sharing that 1 kilobyte per second. Another thing about this hub is that if A is sending to D, no other person can communicate on the channel. And that's why I say that this is half duplex. This hub uses what? Half duplex communication. So let me come again with the type of communication I talked about on the session layer. The first one I talked about is the simplest communication. That means it's a one-way communication. It's a one-way communication. Example is a radio, right? I said the example is a radio. That means if the sender is sending to the receiver, the sender does not know if the receiver received it. The receiver does not know, can only receive the message but cannot send back. And I gave a simple example that if someone abuse you, let's say on Beat FM, and he mentions your name, that Glorio, this and this, you only accept the information. You got the information, right? But you can't reply the person. Or maybe when you now see outside, though, you can beat the person up. That's fine. But at that moment, you might not be able to reply. The person also sending you or abusing you on the radio does not know maybe you got the information or not. So that's the simplest communication. We have an half duplex communication. So for half duplex communication, please note this arrow. You can see that I'm putting a one-way arrow. That means that it's a two-way communication, but one at a time. Example is a walkie-talkie. That means you can speak but cannot listen at the same time. You can listen and you cannot speak at the same time. And that's what the hub uses. And that's why the hub causes there's a collision on the hub, right? There are a lot of collisions on the hub because the one we do is a two-way communication, but one at a time. That means if A is sending to D and B tries to send message on the same channel, just like I'm going from Lagos to Ibadan. Once I start my car on that road, till I get to Ibadan, no other person to use that channel, right? No other person to use that. That's what it means. So till I get to Ibadan, when I get to Ibadan now, everybody has equal rights at that time to send again. If another person try and move from Ibadan or try and follow me, there will be a collision along the way. Right? So up to date is not fast, right? And there are a lot of collisions, and also a hub is not secure. So that's a hub. Now let's go to a switch. There's a switch. So also the same illustration for a switch. This is system A, this is system B, this is system C, this is system D. Now I'm still talking about network devices, right? We are still network devices, and we start to buy a hub. Now we are talking about a switch. So if A is sending to D, now for a switch, B will not get the message, and system C will also not get the message. Now, if A is not sending to B, not like the hub that B will get the message, system C will get the message. Now, for a switch, if A is sending to D, system B will not get the message, and system C will not get the message. Why? Now, a switch is now intelligent. That means he has a brain. What makes an hub not to be intelligent that it doesn't have a brain? That means that it can't retain people's information, it doesn't know people's name. So that means that I want to give Glory something because I can't keep Glory and I don't have a brain. Every time I'm looking for Glory, I have to start chatting that who is Glory, who is Glory, who is Glory at every point in time. But for a switch, it doesn't happen like that. It has a memory which we call the content address memory, which is called the CAM. So it has a brain, which is the content address memory. And what does it do? It stores the MAC addresses. I'm just using this as a short form of the MAC addresses. Now, MAC addresses is what we call media access control. Right. So if A is sending to D now, it will go and give D directly. So now if I want to send a message to Glory, I will go and give Glory directly the message because now I have the brain that I used to retain the memory of who Glory is. So I go directly to Glory and give Glory that message, right? So of course, you know that a switch is more secure. So because if an attacker is in a hub, it doesn't need to do anything. So when you get to EHE, that's essentially you learn about sniffing. You learn about active sniffing and passive sniffing, right? Now for a hub now, the attacker doesn't even need to do anything before he gets the message because the hub will naturally broadcast the message to everyone. But for a switch now, if the attacker is also on this network, he will not get the message directly. He will not get the message directly. So say that a switch is what? It is more secured. And also for a switch, if this switch is, let's say, 15 kilobytes per second, if the bandwidth of this switch is 15 kilobytes per second, that means each of these ports has its own 15 kilobytes per second. And remember there was a time I used to work in an organization and all of us will be sharing a particular bandwidth, right? You say that network is slow, and we can't do this. You just see that one of the boss, he just pick his own cable, Ethernet cable, and plug in one of those ports. So by the time all of you are sharing, starting that there is no network, he is using his own what? Bandwidth that nobody is sharing with him. So that's the beauty of this switch. So each port has its own collision domain. And that's why I say this also is what? Is full duplex. It uses a full duplex communication. That means if A is sending to D now, B and C can also communicate on that channel without any collision. So collision doesn't happen on a switch. And also we say a hub is a layer 1 device on the OSI layer. If a hub is a layer 1 device, then a switch is now a layer 2 device. Also for a hub, we can use a hub as a repeater. That means you can just need to repeat a signal. Right? You can use the hub as a repeater. Now, because this is not intelligence, it just works as the normal physical layer, a hub. But a switch now, because of the media access control, right? Now, this guy deals with MAC addresses, so you can work at what data link layer. So a switch works at the data link layer, which is layer 2. Okay. Then both the hub and a switch, you only have one broadcast address. What do I mean by one broadcast address? That means they work under a local area network. So this brings me to types of networks. We have the local area network, we have the metropolitan area network or campus area network, and we have the wide area network. What is a local area network? That's a network within a building or within 100 meters. Well, the efficiency of those cables are always 100 meters, but the communication within a building or a particular space. That's a local area network. That means they can communicate in between themselves, but they can't communicate outside that building. Example, if you go to a bank now, most of them can communicate between themselves. They can send a file to the printer. They can print from the file and do a lot of things like that. But if they need to communicate outside, that means it's more than the local area network. But the efficiency of the local area network is always about between 100 meters because of the resources or the cabling used in what. Example, a twisted cable, the efficiency of the twisted pair cable is 100 meters. It's 100 meters. That's the highest a twisted pair cable can go, is 100 meters. Yes, Abdulhamid.
Sorry to cut you short, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah? Yeah, please go ahead.
Now, I want to ask a question. If you are
Yes.
saying how to duplex a full duplex, can I call a smart TV a full duplex? Because probably a normal TV will be placed under a half duplex. So what can we call a smart TV a full duplex or still a half duplex?
A TV, if it's a smart TV now, well, now it depends on the application you're using on it. But the TV itself as a whole, whether smart or not, it's still a simpler communication. Example, if I'm broadcasting to a TV now, it's just the same technology of a radio. If someone is abusing you on the TV, can you reply the TV? No. But the communication between the TV itself as smart and maybe another device, right? They can communicate between each other, which is actually have duplex. But to you, it depends on who is the receiver. If it's you that are the receiver as a person, you can't communicate back to the TV actually. Let's say it's not a smart TV. You can tell the TV, IoT TVs, of course. If you can tell Alexa, switch off the TV, that means there's a dual communication between it. So it depends on how you are receiving what the receiver and the sender. So if it's a dual communication, with let's say maybe you can tell the TV, okay, Alexa, switch on the TV. Now the communication between Alexa and the TV, right, can actually be a full duplex. That means they can communicate simultaneously. If it's an IoT device, it has become an IoT device with a microcontroller. But if it's you that are the receiver now, it's still a simplest communication because you cannot communicate back with the TV. Does that make sense, Abdulhamid?
I do. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
All right. Okay. So that's what I talk about the local area network. That means devices can communicate within a specific network, but they can't communicate outside that network. It's under one network, right? Now they can know their names, can talk about, but if they need to communicate outside that network, then it's more than the local area network. They have the metropolitan area network. Now for a local area network, we can use cable like well, United fiber optics, we use radio waves, we also use twisted pair cable. Now, for a metropolitan area network, majorly it deals with radio waves and it's just like the normal radio communication. Example, just like the radio communication I'm talking about now. If you go more than a particular city, it's majorly between a city, that's the metropolitan area network, or within a campus area network. That's why sometimes if you are in a radio station, if you are getting out of that particular environment or that particular city, you barely hear because of the power of that signal, right? The power of that signal. So you barely hear whatever they are saying. By the time you go to another city, you'll not be able to hear. So that's like the metropolitan area network. majorly using a radio communication, depending on the length width of that radio, but it's within a radio communication. And we have the wide area network, basically just the internet. It's a combination of major, all the small local area network, which becomes a wide area network, right? And we have things like fiber optics, majorly fiber optics that help. And sometimes there are more than fiber optics cable, but one of the major things are fiber optics that move at the speed of light. And that's a wide area network. So a combination of local area network trying to communicate with each other. So if you are trying to communicate within outside your local area network, of course, that's when we talk about this next device. We need a router. That will take me to the next networking device. It talks about a router. I would say that a router is a layer 3 device. That means it works at the network layer of the USI layer. Let's say we have each port on the router is a broadcast domain. That means this can be Togo, this can be Nigeria. So if you need to connect Nigeria and Togo together, you need a router. That means you are connecting two different networks together. That's what the router does. Right? You can use to connect two different local area networks together. And also a router can also serve as a gateway. That means if you need to leave that your network, you need a router to leave that network. So it serves also as as a gateway. I remember I said that both of them, this hub and switch, that just one broadcast domain. That means that I can connect you to one of these routers and they can communicate with another network. Example, just like your plane and your ship. They can connect you from one country to the other. That's also the purpose of a router. Okay. So let's talk about different kind of topologies. We have the bus topology, we have the star topology, we have the ring. Now a bus means that all devices are connected on a central cable called a bus. That means that if anything happens with that cable, that's the end of that network. Well, this bus is not common as at now again, but it was a very, very common technology back in the old days, a bus technology. Then we have the star topology. This is very common. So these are all devices are connected to a central node, right? Called a hub or a switch. So it's a star topology. And let me see if I can have diagram. Okay, these are diagrams for that. So there's a central device here, maybe a hub or a switch. With that, before you communicate with any device, you have to send the message to the hub, and the hub pass it to the next person, right? To whatever devices you want to send it to. That means the destination device. We have the ring topology, like you can see here, they are connected in the form of a ring. We have the mesh topology, in which that one device is connected to another device. And this one takes a lot of cabling. But they have the best fault tolerance. That means if one device is down, that means it can go through any other path to get to the next device. That's the mesh topology. We have the path and we have the full mesh topology. We also have the hybrid topology, which is a combination of two or more different topologies, like you're using star and mesh together. They have the point-to-point topology, which is peer-to-peer, like I told you the other time, one device to another device. And we also have one that is not talked about here, which is point to multi-point. That means one device connected to multiple devices. Now, the OSI model, I've talked about the OSI model the other time, which you have the application layer, you have the presentation layer, you have the session layer, we have the transport layer, we have the network layer. But let me go deeper to where I didn't talk much about. Let me start from the transport layer. So let me reverse that again so we understand that and break it down excessively. Any question thus far? So you can raise up your hands if you have any question thus far. If you don't understand, please raise up your hands. Okay. If you are following, raise up your hands. If you are following and you understand, raise up your hand. Let me see. Okay, that is good. 12 people, 14. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. So let me come again to TCP and UDP. What is TCP? TCP is what we call Transmission Control Protocol. So I might not be able to write it in full. So just pick it up, or someone kindly drop it on the chat box. That's Transmission Control Protocol. Now, this is system A, and this is system B. Now, before system A sent to system B, yeah, Blessing, please go ahead. Okay. Please lower your hands, or do you have a question? Blessing. Okay. So this system A and this is system B. So just like I'm saying I, system A, before even transferring data at all, system A will say I. This I is like a sync message, right? Like a sync message. So this sync, the full meaning is synchronized. Then B will reply. B will acknowledge the hi. The acknowledgement of I is like hello, right? So it acknowledge with hello. This hello is what we call an acknowledgement. Then can go ahead to also ask a question that how are you doing, which is like a sync. A sync is like you're asking a question, but it's not. I'm just using this analogy, right? So how are you? So this how are you is like a sync. Then of course, system A will acknowledge, which is I am fine. I am fine. Which is acknowledged. Now the process of this sync, the process of sync act, that's recognize and acknowledge. An act is what we call a three-way handshake. Now the process of a sync act and act is what we call a three-way handshake. Now, why is this very important? I told that TCP is a reliable connection. Why is it reliable? What makes it reliable? What happens at the transport layer? Now, let's say this system A also. Let's say system A is about Core i9, and let's say 32 gig RAM. And this system B, which is Core i3, and let's say 4 gig RAM. Now, system A can send messages at 90 MB per second. That means send and receive, that's the bandwidth. And system B, the bandwidth is 30 MB per second. So before they send a message at all, let's do like three-way handshake. A will tell B, I want to send a message. I want to send a message of 90 kilobyte per second, which is like a sync, right? I want to send a message of 90 kilobyte per second. So B already knows that, well, I want to receive a message of 90 kilobyte per second. Then B will reply, okay, you acknowledge the message. But also tell me that I can only receive at 30 kilobytes per second. Because you are sending me 90 MB per second, I will crash. And that's where the flow controls comes in for TCP. Then A will now acknowledge that I will send at what 30 MB per second. That means they agreed on a speed. That's the beauty of TCP. They agree because reliability is more important than the speed of that data. Okay, let me erase this. Then after this, then data transfer starts. Let me use another color for data transfer. So after this, the data transfer now starts. These are data transfer after the three-way handshake. Let's say A wants to send a message. Here's a message A wants to send. Let's say A wants to send, how are you? How are you? Now this how are you, let's say is 90 MB. Now normally A can send this per second because its speed is 90 MB per second. Now because B has told him that they've agreed on 30 MB per second, that's what they agreed on, that was the speed they agreed on. Then they can share, it can segment this out. That's what someone was talking about, segmentation. Then it can segment this message to how, her, and you. Then give each one 30 MB. Let's just say it's 30 MB, 30, 30, 30. Then he gives a sequence number. Let's say the sequence number is 1, of course, 2, and 3. So by the time it gets to B, now this can use any architecture to get to B, right? We have different architecture. We have the circuit architecture, we have the packet architecture, right? So these are different what you can use. So let's say using the packet movement, you can use any medium to move. Let's say I got to B first. Then you, or let's say I got there next. This is number 1. This is number 2. Now, this is where error correction comes in that I was talking about the other time. Now, because B is expecting how many? 90 MB of data. Now, it got only what? 60 MB. These are one of the things that make TCP reliable because they've done a pre-talk, which is the three handshake. So B already knows how many what traffic is coming. Just like we are talking about the ports, Lagos port and Miami port. Miami port knows that, okay, this car is already coming. This is the ship that is coming. And these are the what people coming. So they have the pre-information before even data transfer. So now I know that this is not complete. Then it tells A, can you kindly resend, either resend this you or you kindly resend the packet again. Then let's say this guy sent this you to him. Now he can rearrange this 1, 2, 3. Then on your screen, you can see what? How are you? Now I've talked about flow control. I've talked about what? Error correction. Now, we use TCP where reliability of that data because you want all this data complete is greater than the speed of the data. So that is TCP. And that's why we say that TCP is a reliable connection. Okay, now let's go to UDP. Now I'm still at the transport layer of the SI layer, and I'm talking about 2 major protocols at the transport layer, which are TCP and UDP. So when it's 1 o'clock, we go for a 10-minute break. Hopefully, you'll be able to finish these basic fundamentals. And please, you have the right to ask questions. If you are misplaced, if you don't understand, if it's too complex for you. But I might not see it in chat box, so please raise your hands and let me know. And also, if it's too slow for you, let me know. Okay. Now we have the UDP now, right? Where's my pen? Now UDP is user data graph protocol. Now let's say this is the same system A, which has for I9 32 gigagram, and this system B, we have for I3 4 gigagram. Now this A does not care about B. Once A gets the destination address, it flows the data to B. Now, if B likes B should crash, it's none of A's problem. If like B should not receive the message, it's none of A's problem. Now, I told I use GDP where the speed of the data is more important than it was reliability of that data. Example, streaming. You don't care, you don't want to go back, right? Now there are applications that can make you do a pre-recording, and the other new protocols, well, I won't talk about that now, that can help you with this. So it's a combination of like TCP, it makes UDP reliable. So that's the difference between TCP and UDP. So going to the network layer now, I'll move from the transport layer to network layer, which is layer 3. Now I'm talking about IP addresses. We have the IPv4 and we have the IPv6. That is version 4 and version 6. Now IPv4 looks like this. Let's say 10.15.152.24.96. And each octet is 88 bits or 1 byte. 1 bit, 8 bits is equal to 1 byte. 4 bits is equal to 1 nibble. So please read about that. Now 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8, that will give me 32 bits. Now who can tell me what is 2 raised to power 32? Who can tell me on the group? What's the full? If you do 2 raised to power 32, what does it give you? I'm waiting. Two raised to power 32. So bring out, you can ask AI now. What's 2 raised to power 32? If nobody answer me, that means I'll be looking on. What's 2 raised to power 32? Okay, thank you, Christopher.
2 raised to power 32. It is 429
That's
496
4 billion,
7296.
4 billion 216 and da, 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 da. So it's about 4
Yes, sir.
billion plus. Thank you. So I see that 4 billion plus is not enough for everybody. If I told you the other time, China alone will exhaust this 4 billion. And that's why for IPv4, we separated them into public IP, and private IPs. Public IP and private IP. Now, if you want to know your public IP, you can go online and say, what's my IP address? What's my IP address? So if we see this particular one, what's my IP address.com, right? So mine is saying Port Harcourt, Nigeria, and this is my IP address, right? Now, nobody knows you on the internet. Let me come again. Nobody knows you on the internet. Now, how do we get this public IP? These are registered IP. We have the regional internet registry. So you can see these are the public addresses, which are bought by ISPs, right? These public IP are the ones that should go to the internet, not that should be what everyone is on the internet. So nobody actually knows you on the internet. Majorly they know your ISP. The ISP is one that knows you. Now, that what I was saying before that so are not anonymity, most of you have a different complete knowledge about it because they're using a VPN. It doesn't work like that, right? You are not the one going to the internet. It's your ISP that is taking you to the internet. So how can you be how can you run away from your ISP? Is it actually possible? Well, we still talk about that technology on a deeper level for people coming for advanced courses. All right, so we have different ones. We have for APNIC, which is Asia. Afrinic is the one handling Africa, right? We have ARIN, we have LACINIC, we have RIPE, SCC for Europe, the Middle East, another part of us, of Central Africa. So it's just like a plane also. No, a plane is not also registered locally. For example, you buy a plane in Nigeria or a ship. For a plane now, it's a how that will register that plane. That's why I see something like 5 N on every Nigeria plane. That's 5 November. It's the same thing. So it's your routers also, they are the one that use these IP addresses. And those IP addresses are bots. And that also have ISP in different tiers. You have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and so on and so forth. Okay. Okay, I was looking at what's my IP addresses. Now look at these numbers, right? It's 41. Now, this location you are looking at is not my location, but the location of the router taking me to the internet. Right? It's not actually my location, it's the location of the router, which is the core router taking me to the internet. So that why sometimes people that we should talk about those, well, we are not talking about those. But let's just give an idea. Also, when some people are doing tracking and they are tracking using public IP address most of the time, it's always not actually accurate. But most of the time, they don't do it directly to the ports. That means maybe port channel or whatever it is. They don't get the accurate location, right? But ISP can actually find the actual location. One of the major ways through distant location, through the mast, right? So, okay. So those are public IP addresses, and also we have the private IP. So now let's talk about the private, which you are more common with. So your private IP address, if you go to your command prompt, if you have a system there, you go to your command prompt and you press IP config. If you're using a Windows system, if config, you see the IP address, which should be private. If you're using a Linux system, you can press if config. That should show you your what? Private IP addresses, which ISP will probably give to you. Now for private, we have defined numbers, right? We have numbers that are private. It doesn't change. Example, every university have account department. It just used to divide you. Every department has account, every school has marketing and so on. Now, if you go to China too, you still find account department, you still find engineering department. That's just to divide it, right? But the name of the school, example, once you are out of that environment, I need to go out of that local area network. You pick the name of the school. That's the same thing. You pick the name of the ISP to the internet. But ISP can use this private to divide everyone. Then we have the class A IP address, private. We have the class A, which these numbers are starting, which we have 10.0.0.0 to 10.255.255.255. That's the class A. Then we have the class B. If you notice that, okay, then let me talk about it here. For class B, we have 172.16.0.0 to 172.31.255.255. For class C, which most of you are familiar with, we have 192.168.0.0 to 192.168.255.255. Then we have class D and class E. I'll just say that those are for research, or there's more than research. Some are used for multicasting and IPv6, but we won't go there. So I should notice that on my public IP address, it doesn't fall to any of the category of this private IP address. It doesn't fall to any category of this private IP address because these guys there does not go to the internet. They only use what to divide us internally. And if you need to go to the internet, then there's a translation which we call network address translation, right? Or there are three types which you can research about, which converts this private IP to public IP. So that what happens at layer 3. And IP addresses are logical addresses. So this is what happens at layer 3. And we've talked about what internet protocol. Okay. So let's go for a 10 minutes break. I'll be back by 1:10. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, all right, guys. Are we back?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
All
we
right,
can see your
thank
screen.
you so much. Okay, let's go to layer 2, where I was talking about the switch and we've talked about the switch, right? Let me also talk about MAC addresses. Yeah, MAC addresses. Now, MAC addresses is 48 bits, and they are in hexadecimal, right? They are in hexadecimal. So let's say I have A4, 1, 2, 3C, 4A, 5E, 4.2. Now, this first 3 octets, right, is given by the OUI. Who are the OUIs? So OUI MAC address. So we call them organizationally unique identifier. You can see. So they are all assigned to organization by the EEE. So it's used as part of the MAC address, and the OUI is the first 24 bits. That means the first 24 bits is given by the OUI to a product. So for this first 24 bits, I can know maybe you are using an HP system, you are using a Mac system, you are using Intel, or whatever it is, right? So this first 3 octets, which is 24 bits, is given by the OUI to the organization by the IEE. Then these last 3 octets, of course, is used by the organization themselves, majorly as product number. So they are used by the organization themselves. Example, we have like 10 different systems, have been separated, then given by the organization number. And I say that MAC addresses are unique. They are unique to every devices. So MAC addresses are unique to every devices. It's just like your IMEI also, which are unique to every devices. Well, you can spoof your MAC address. You can spoof your MAC address online, but technically you can't actually change it, but you can spoof your MAC address online. But the bit about IPv6 I didn't talk about, IPv6 is 128 bits. So please, who can do for me 2 raised to power 128? What does it give us? 2 raised to power 128. What is 2 raised to power 128? So you can type on your AI. So what does 2 raised to power 128 give you? Who can tell me?
Again. 3.40 exponential 38.
You can use that exponential. Yeah, that's quadrillion. So it's enough for everybody, which we don't have to divide into private or public IP addresses. So IPv6 is enough. And of course, your MAC address is inbuilt into the IPv6. So every device can have its own IP address. That's what IPv6 is saying. And that has give birth to a lot of IoT advances and so on and so forth, right? In which each of those devices can have their unique IP address. Then we have the physical layer, which is layer 1. We have the layer 1. Right, where you have everything converts to 0 and 1 through your mediums, right? Through your fiber optics, coaxial cable, twisted pair cable, and so on and so forth. Then the conversion goes towards 0. And when you talk about voltage, EMFs, radio waves, and of course, light waves. Okay. Any question for me before I move on? Any question for me? Okay, so we have other network protocols. We've talked about TCP, we've talked about HTTP and HTTPS, right? We have the simple mail transfer protocol. That means if you want to send a mail, you use SNCP. If you want to receive a mail, you use POP3, or you can use IMAP for email retrieval. Also, we have file transfer protocol for sending mails we have the DHCP to automatically assign IP addresses on the device. Have you ever thought of it? You just connect to the network and you get an IP address. Well, the protocol that allows that is DHCP, which dynamically was assign IP address to you. Imagine that I have to assign, maybe as a network administrator, I have to be assigning IP address to every one of you statically. It doesn't work. But DHCP help with this. And we have the domain name system, right, which is like a phone book. It matches the name of that domain with an IP address. Example, when you are going to facebook.com, the facebook.com is not where you are going, but the IP address is where you are going, right? So most of us cannot remember, we're not remembering IP addresses now, but that's what DNS helps us to do, right? So help us to match that domain name with the what? With the IP address. Good, and we have different kind of ports. This assignment I gave you, right? Ports and their functions is a major criteria in this field. You must understand ports and their functions. Now we have well-known ports which are from 0 to 1023. We have registered ports which are from 1024 to 49151, and we have ephemeral ports which are 49,152 to 65,535, right? Okay. Any question? Please, do we understand this? So these are bases of computer networks, right? These are the basics. Okay. So when I was talking about my MAC address, I was talking about binaries, zeros and one. I was talking about hexadecimal. So let's talk about number conversion. And we should be true for today. Number conversion. So some of you understand binaries, how do they mean to IP addresses, how do I do subnetting, and so on and so forth. So number conversion, let's start from decimal to binary. So we are going to be using a technique called the twos. I mean 2 raised to the power 0, 2 raised to the power 1, 2 raised to the power 2, 2 raised to the power 3, 2 raised to the power 4, 2 raised to the power 5, 2 raised to the power 6, and 2 raised to the power 7. Right? So this is like 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, and 128. Example, if you want to convert 10 to binary, what I just need to do is that what's the highest number that can go in 10 in all this, in this 2 raised to power? 1 can go, right? 4 can go rather, or 8. 8 can go. So 8 is on. So any number that can go is just the principle of on and off. That means any number I pick, I look for the highest number out of these 2 series, right? I look for the numbers out of these 2 series and look for the highest that can go. So example, if I'm working with 10, of course, 8 can go. That means 8 is on. If 8 can go, it remains 2. Of course, 4 cannot go into is off. 2 can go into is 1, which remain nothing, and this is 0. So the binary conversion is 1, 0, 1, 0. So this is not the one that they taught you in secondary school or university that you are using ruler to cut all your paper. We are not doing that. This is a technical aspect of it and a simpler version of it. And I'll tell you how this relates to IP addresses and also your MAC address, how it came about. Okay, so let's say you can use this for any complex number. Even though you are looking for 1,000, 10,000, whatever number it is, you can work with this. Okay. Then also, I told you that 1 bit, 1 is a bit, 0 is also a bit, 4 bits is equal to 1 nibble, 8 bits is equal to 1 byte, 1024. Now, it depends on maybe I'm using network or I'm using storage. So 1024, so let me just use 1024 is equal to what? 1 kilobit. 1024 KB is equal to 1 megabit. So you can work that to terabyte and so on. So you can use the same formulation for that. Okay. So let's say I'm picking a number that is, let's say 25. Or don't let me go complex yet. Let me pick a number that is 6. What's that number that can go in 6 here? It's 4, right? 4 can go. So 4 is on. 8 cannot go. So let's make it a nibble, which is 0. I'll just put 0 in front. 050 is still 50 naira. 100 is 200 naira. Okay. So what's the next number that can go? This is 2. If 4 can go, it remains 2. Of course, 2 will be on because it can go. If 2 can go, then this will be off, definitely. So of course, for 6, that is 0, 1, 1, 0. So let me go to a complex higher number. Let's say I'm going to 27. Now, of course, 32 cannot go in 27. So the highest number that can go is probably 16, which 16 will be on, which is 1. So 16 minus 27, what will it give us? So it remains 11. 11. 1, 1. What other highest number can go in 11? Of course, 8 can go. So, which is another 1. So 16 is on. Of course, 8 is also on. So it remains 3, of course. So what highest number can go? Of course, 4 cannot go in 3, which is off. 2 can go in 3, which will be on. So it will remain 1, of course, and 1 can go in 1, which will be on. So the binary for this is 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. Very simple. So I want all of us to do for 37. So you have 3, or let me give us 3, 4 minutes to do that. So by 12:30, I want you to drop, before 1:30, I want you to drop the answer of the group for these numbers: 37, 91, 37, 91, 74. Okay, let's work on these 3 numbers. So I want you to convert all these numbers to binary. That is 37, 91, and 74. So I'll be waiting on the group chat. So 37, 91, and 74. I'm giving an assignment. Someone said I can't hear anything. I'll be class work rather. I'm giving you a class work to do. Okay, someone has done. Okay. Christopher, Redman, Toby. Okay. I'm still waiting for others. Okay, 1 more minute. Okay, pressure is start. Okay. Okay, so let me pick the complex of the number. Let's say 91. Is it the same logic? 2 raised to power 0, 2 raised to power 1. So you can keep dropping it. 2 raised to power 2, 2 raised to power 3, 2 raised to power 4, 2 raised to power 5. Because I need high number. 2 raised to power 6, 2 raised to power 7. Okay. So please know this to come on your assessment. Because that's the fundamentals of computer, understanding this binary conversion. That's how your IP addresses were made. That's how your MAC address was made. And that's how your computer, your processor still process information. In binaries, they will have low-level language, which is the assembly language, right? It still goes back to this binary. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. So for 91, of course, that number that will go is 64. For 91, so this is 91. So 64 will go, what will remain? 91 minus 64, it remains 27. So of course, 32 cannot go. But 16 will go, of course. 27 minus 16, it remains 11. 16 will go. 8 can go 11, remain 3. It remains 3. Of course, 4 cannot go in 3. Then 2 will go in 3 and 1 will go in 3. So most of us got it. That's 1011011. All right, please make sure you drop your own answer in the group chat box so I'll pick it up from there. Okay. So the next one we want to do is binary to octadecimal. And when I'm talking about octadecimal, I'm talking about 2 raised to power 8. I'm talking about 8 bits. That's what I'm talking about. That's 2 raised to power 3. 2 raised to power 3 will give me 8. So if I have a binary like this and I have to convert it to octadecimal, let's just pick any random binary, 110, 11011. Like I said, 2 raised to power 3 will give me 8. So how do I convert this to octadecimal? Most of us, we first convert to binary and find a way to convert to octal. No, you don't need to do that. Not the one your school be putting ruler and dividing all the obo. It's just the same logic you've been using before. But those years, I just divide them into threes. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So you see that remain one, you can just put 2 zeros there. So this is 1. And what do? We still convert, so you can treat each segment as a whole. You treat each segment as a whole. Each segment as a whole. So that means you convert 011 to decimal. You convert 011 to decimal. You convert this 011 to decimal. And this also decimal. Let me check the binary. Why 011 each? Let me use 101 in 1. Let's say this was 101. Let's say this one is 111. And use the same format, which is 2 raised to power 0, 2 raised to power 1, 2 raised to power 2. Now for this one also, which is 2 raised to power 0, 2 raised to power 1, 2 raised to power 2. 2 raised to power 0, 2 raised to power 1. So this is 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 4. Some of them will actually carry 1 to 4 because you convert that index, it will give you 1 to 4, 1 to 4, 1 to 4, 1 to 4. Then you do the calculation. Anyone that gives you 1 means it's on. You see that between that 1 is on, 0 is off, right? So anyone that is used, anytime I'm using 1 and 0, now I'm converting them to electronics. That means 1 means on, 0 means off. Right? I'm not doing all those binary. Now we are converting them to electronics. So 0 and 1, that's what I'm using. So it's either on or off. So anyone that is on now, I will add the formation. That means for this first 3 I divided, this first 3 bits, 4 is off. That means that is 0. 2 is on, which is 1. This one means is on. 2. Of course, 1 is on, which is 2 raised to power 0 is on, which is 1. And this is 3 in decimal. So this octet gives me 3. 101 here. 4 is on, I will add 4. 2 is off, is 0. 2 raised to power 0, which is 1, is on. So 4 plus 1 will give me 5. For this one, 4 is on, I will add it. 2 is on, I will add it. 1 is on, I will add it. 4 plus 2 plus 1 will give me 7. Therefore, 0, 0, 1, of course, 4 is off, is 0. 2 is off, this 4 to 1 is 0. Then 1 is on, 1. So this will give me 1. You can see that none of them is greater than 7. That is octet. Octet is from number 0 to 7. And you can see that out of what these I've said here, all this division, none of them will be greater than 8. Or there's no number that will give you 8 and above. So if you convert this binary to octadecimal, that's 1, 7, 5, 3. Base 8. That's octadecimal. So let's do a class log. Let me just pick a random binary. I want you to convert it to octadecimal. 110 0 1 1 1 1 1. So we will convert this binary to octadecimal. So you have 3 minutes to do this. So by 1, I want you to drop it on the chat box. Okay, Tolu, please go ahead.
I observed that. Yes, I'm with you. Thank you, sir. I observed that the first set 001, like you did to others, you didn't do to 001.
Yeah, sorry, it's there. Let me write it. 4, 2, 1. It's also there. So that's why he gave us 1. Because 4 is 0, is off, 2 is off, only 1 is on, which is 1. 0 plus 0 plus 0 will give us 1. And that's what doing this one here. Okay, so please let's do 110 011 111. Okay, Olamide, please go ahead.
So, you already repeated 110 001 111. That's what I wanted to ask. The number you wrote.
Yes, 110 011 111.
011. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you too. So let's convert that to Okay, 657. Someone says 617. Okay, let's see which one is right. So we have 2 more minutes. Does Olamide still have a question? Okay, I think.
No, I'll drop my hand.
All right, thank you. So some are saying 637, some 657, some 617. Okay. You still have 2 more minutes before I do the correction. Olamide, do you still have a question? Your hands are raised again. Okay, thank you. So you have 1 more minute. Okay, so let me do the correction. So this is 1, 1, 0. 1. You always start from the left to the right. Right. This is 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 0. So I pick each one as a segment. So this is my 142, 142, 124 rather, sorry. 124, no 142. That's 2 raised to power 0, 2 raised to power 1, 2 raised to power 2. So that's 124, 124, 124. So the second assignment I'll be giving you is subnetting. But I might try to give after tomorrow's class, but you learn how to subnet and use this formation to do subnetting of that class, of that private IP address. Okay, so 1 is on, of course, 2 is on, and 4 is on. So 4 plus 2 plus 1 will give me 7. For this one, 4 is off, that's 0. 2 is on, 2, 1 is on. So 2 plus 1 will give me 3. This one, 4 is on, right? 2 is on, right? And 0 is off. So that's 6, 3, 7. That's correct. Okay. Let me for another page of raising that immediately. Okay. So the next one, I need a larger page. Okay, I think that's good. So the last one we're talking about today, before we close it today, is binary. If you want to convert that octadecimal back to binary, it's the same to just divide 6, 3, and 7, right? As a whole, you treat 6 as a whole, you treat 3 as a whole, you treat 7 as a whole, and convert it back to binary. So binary to hexadecimal. Now, most of the time, you'll be working with hexadecimal. So some of you that will go to malware analysis, you can't run away from it. You will learn assembly language, you will learn hexadecimal. So put in your mind now, some of you are saying that we are doing calculation. Yes, by the time you go further, you're under malware analysis, memory analysis, you will go to binary. So it's better you learn the foundation now. All right, hexadecimal. So binary to hexadecimal. I know some of you that go to reverse engineering too. So put your eyes into this. So for hexadecimal, this is 2 raised to power 4, which is 16, right? 2 raised to power 4 will give us 16. And for this, to differentiate the difference between decimal and hexadecimal. Now, if I say 1 and 0, 10, 10 is a combination of 1 and 0, which is decimal. So sometimes if I write 10, some of you don't know the difference between decimal and hexadecimal. I remember that for hexadecimal, I don't want to have any number greater than 16. So definitely I will have from 10 to 15. So for hexadecimal, we represent 10 to 15 as an alphabet. That means 10 is equal to A in hexadecimal. 11 is B. 12 is C. 13 is D. 14 is E. And 15 is F. So some of the things you are seeing your MAC address, you are seeing letters, this is what it means in hexadecimal. Because your MAC address is in hexadecimal. By the time you are seeing this letter, this is what they mean. Okay, so let's do the setting for hexadecimal. Let me just pick any random binary. Let's say 110.0.0.110.0.11111. So now instead of dividing into 3 now, remember it's 2 raised to the power 4, you divide into 4. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then this last one, of course, that means that there are 3 zeros at the back, 0, 0, 3. So we treat this also as the O, that is 2 raised to the power 0, 2 raised to the power 1, 2 raised to the power 2, and now we now have 2 raised to the power 3. This is automatically 1, 2, 4, 8. Also this one, 1, 2, 4, 8. Also this, 1, 2, 4, 8. Also this, 1, 2, 4, 8. So let me start from this. 8 is on, that is 8. 4 is on, 2 is on, and 1 is on. That is 8 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1 it gives us 15. Remember, I can write 15 for hexadecimal, so this is F. Also for this guy here, this is 8 is on, 4 is on, then 2 is off, 1 is off. That is 8 plus 4, that is 12, which is C. For this one, 8 is on, others are off. Of course, it's just 8 because it's just a decimal, which is 8. For this one here, 8 is off, 4 is off, 2 is off, only 1 is on, that is 1. So our hexadecimal is 18CF raised to the power 16. So this is our hexadecimal. So also for your classwork, let's do a random number. Let me raise this so you can see as well. Okay, let's pick 110.111.10001. So 110.111.00011. So what? Convert this to what? Hexadecimal. So let me see your answer in the chat box. So we have till 150 before I hand you over to Samuel and Gloria. We have 3 more minutes. I'm waiting. Nobody's dropping the answers. So I have 3 more minutes. Okay, 1983. Let's see if that's the answer. Yes, thank you. Someone has created it for me. 1983. You don't look at the chat box, so make sure you do it and you check. Someone says CF1. Remember, you are doing it from the right to the left. 1983. So someone that did CF, please check again. They are reading it from the right to the left. Yes. 1983. Please make sure you do your own notes so you can ask questions. So in case you didn't get it, you can ask more questions now. Okay, 1983. All right, ladies and gentlemen, do you have any question before I hand it over? Any question for me? Okay, Olamide, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. So just to be clear, depending on what base you are taking the numbers to, that will determine the how you're going to slash the numbers. So similar to this one, yeah, which is the base 16, and we are doing 2 raised to power 8. That's 1248 at that point.
Yeah.
If it's 10, it means you are going to do it up onto we are going to do the next, that will be like 5. We are going to be slashing into like 5. It is like a base, taking it back to a base 10. That's decimal.
Yeah, for decimal, it's just the normal figures that we have. But decimal is just normal figures now, which is base 10 actually, yes.
Yes, I'm just saying if I'm taking a binary, so it means I'll just add another one to it, which completes a 10. Okay.
No. For binaries, what the binary, we are converting decimal to binary. It's just what we did before, 2 raised to power 0. What's 2 raised to power 0? It is 1, right? Binary goes, it continues. This is true. You won't slash anything for binary. It goes, and you are not slash anything for binary. But for others, it depends on the number of bits. Example, for hexadecimal, remember hexadecimal is 2 raised to power 4. So it divides in 4s. Octadecimal is 2 raised to power 3. So it divides in 3.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, please. Any other question? All right, ladies and gentlemen, if there are no other questions, I hope you enjoy the class. I hope to see you tomorrow by 2 p.m. I'll hand over to Glory. I'll hope to see you tomorrow, same time, same station. Thank you very much. Whatever you give to security is what it gives back to you. Every day is for the thief, but one day is for the owner. That's not about that. The thief is 99 times smarter than the owner. That's what it means. One, you must need to think like one.